Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Brofessionals, the rotating show that brings you excitement and unexpected thrills every week on Tuesday night. We're a little late tonight. We usually go an hour earlier, but we had several people that couldn't make it. We'll call them out as the show goes on. And we're still a couple people short that haven't made it yet. So we're going to do our best to kind of roll with the punches here until the rest of our crew shows up so we can actually start the festivities that I have planned for this evening. But we want to thank all of you for joining us, even though all of our compadres apparently aren't up to the challenge quite yet. But let's see who is here and give them kudos. This guy said, I'm going to be late, and he was the only guy on time. It's Andy Smith.
You know it. If you're on time, you're late. That's what I've been taught.
Well, there was that TV episode of Batman, the 60s television show, where Batman told Robin, he goes, better an hour early than a minute late, old chum. So there you go. That's Batman's rule. And I'll tell you something that shocked me, that came rolling in a little bit earlier than I would have expected he might. That's old man winter himself, or summer, I guess I should say. It's Art Taber. We usually expect Art to show up late, but you were here right on time.
Not this time. Yeah. I feel like the Who in Whoville. We are here. We are here. We are here.
I feel like you're
Isn't
always
it weird
eating...
that we're rolling into the fall already. Isn't that kind of weird? Like preseason football is this week, and it's crazy.
Just a few weeks away from the leaves falling.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for the heat to go into more fall mode. It is hot.
I know it's hot here too, but we usually get an Indian summer in September in Oregon, so I'm probably not going to get crappy weather starting until October. So we still got.
If you're going to be racist during the show, I'm going to leave. It's Indigenous Peoples Summer.
Oh
Lord.
Okay.
My God. Or Native American.
Didn't the indigenous people, didn't they migrate here at some point too? So they're not really indigenous peoples either. So Billy Tucci. Billy Tucci's a guy who has an opinion on everything. Does he have an opinion on this? Let's find out. Billy,
chime in.
Whoa, it's a gun show. Hold on.
I think we all found out what Aaron's favorite crayon was. Crayola crayon. Indian red.
Oh my gosh. No, it's actually Chinese red. So.
I thought it was Indian red.
Whoa. That's Asian red. My God.
Oriental. What is going on here?
Oriental red?
Chinese red is an actual color. It's kind of orangish. I kind of like it. Yeah. So Billy, you strolled in a little bit late, not too late. I'll give you credit.
I have an excuse.
What were you doing that was so important you couldn't be here on time?
We have a water main break outside on my street, and the break is, my whole neighborhood's out of water, and it's the pipe that leads from the main to the filter at my house, or whatever that contraption is. That it goes from the street and to your house, and then it carries over to your house. That son of a bitch, it is made of lead. The pipe that went from the main water main to my house is made of lead, and it just exploded. He's like, yeah, we haven't used that in over 70 years. So I'm like, are you telling me that for the past 26 years, my family and I have been drinking lead water? Laced fucking water? Are you out of your mind?
We're going to tell you next, you got asbestos in your walls? Jeez.
Exactly. Thank you. And then I got all upset about Graham Nolan totally not understanding Bane.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't understand. I have to agree with that director.
We have to score him on his creation.
Speaking of Graham Nolan, he's a guy who's never late. He's always on time. But today he's late. But here he is. Here's Graham.
I arrive when I arrive, people. And it's about time you guys realize that.
Graham is never late.
Wow.
He's there when he gets there, and that's when it starts.
When I come, the party starts. That's all you need to know.
That's right here.
Graham's been busy laying lead pipe.
all over the Blue Beetle director. Who's that guy?
New York water, Billy.
And guys, we still have 6 weeks of summer. Why are you saying summer is almost over? Today's the 7th of August. Actually, the 26 years ago today, I bought my house. But it ends on the 21st of September.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
What's going on?
All right.
Yeah,
all
you
right.
know,
I always
already? And I
technically,
root for the
people
fall.
feel that once Labor Day starts and the kids are back at school, summer's over.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Labor
that's
Day's
good.
not starting until September.
Yeah, but I know, but
but
It's closing in.
I was
Billy.
just going to say, Graham's up in Buffalo. He's going to walk out tomorrow to like a foot of snow, and it's just all downhill.
that's it.
That's
Hey,
why
you
I'm
know-
looking forward to moving to Portland.
Say, yeah, I don't think so. Graham,
Yes,
speaking of snow, I saw a picture of your wife with a bunch of plushies. Will you explain to me what's going on with that?
Oh, the plushies. Yeah, those are the Chinook plushies. I got a box of 30 of them to approve to make sure the stuffing content matched the prototypes and all that kind of stuff. Everything looks great. They're in North Carolina and they are producing them right now. And there's going to be 500 of them. It'll go up on my website in October. So this won't be a crowdfunding campaign. So if you haven't done so, everybody go to the Compass Comics website, make sure you sign up, for the email list. That way you'll know when it goes up, because there is only 500 of them. So you're going to want to get on that.
I want one.
Yeah.
Okay,
How
so
tall are they, Graham?
I have to go sign up on your
Dude,
website.
this big, buddy.
No, but yes, how big is that?
That's
18 inches?
it's at least 12. It's got to be bigger than 12.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
That is big enough for Art to
that's
use as
why-
a body
that's why.
pillow.
Oh my god!
It's got to be bigger than 12.
How big are you? I'm 12 inches.
Nice. I love you.
I would like to take a moment real quickly as we're waiting for our sixth member, Dan, to roll in. I think he's in a very important meeting or something like that. But everybody here has campaigns, and I want you to know that the links to those campaigns are in the description of this video. Billy, I thought, is your big omnibus shut down? The one that had everybody?
Don't say that. Please don't say it is. Why would you say that?
Well, I couldn't find it. All I could
we
find
have
was
a
your second
Senryaku
chance.
on the bus. Let me go and see.
Well, Marcus Kellegrube put the link right
we're
there
in demand. We're in demand.
Yeah, you're
I
good.
could not find it. Why couldn't I find it? I put your other one, your second chance campaign, because that's the only one I could
Yeah,
find.
we are shadow banned. That's for sure.
Okay, you
You
are.
are?
With this omnibus, we are shadow banned with this omnibus.
Oh,
Okay,
congratulations.
that's why I couldn't
Thank
find
you.
it.
Well, about time you joined the party.
Yeah,
That's right. Welcome to the club, Art. You're the only remainer that needs to get needs to get shadow banned.
I need to say some fucked up shit soon.
Damn.
You need
There
to
it is,
cross
right there.
promote on your updates or something.
Hey, Graham.
Let me take a minute here to say hi to some of the people in the chat, and then we'll get rolling. Geek Hero Bubba was first one in the house today. Toshiro's here. Randy Howell, all the way from Canada. Passmaster Dan, Robert the Bruce Blackjack, Squib, Citizen Ronan, Glitch is here. Marcus Killigrew, who just was mentioned. Pop culture knowledge extraordinaire.
Yes.
I'm here. Let's see. Dan, the Pizza Man Genovese is here. Death Metal Hero is rocking out with his NPC Oasis. Look at that. Just Kevin Ryan is here. Who else we got? Sean Ferris, Bretsky the Great, Death Metal Hero. Did I already say him? I probably did. But
Yeah, you did.
well, Sean Ferris, No Madaman is here. Jiminy the Cricket is here. Wiley J Draws. My goodness, look at this crowd. It's Prater 7, Lord Liam the Fourth is here. Or is that the sixth? If it's V1, is that 4 or 6?
6.
6.
6. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Heat Miser's here. Let's see if did I miss anybody. Tarks9 from Canada is here. Carry the money. H is for Heretic, $2.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Billy, do you have knob and tube wiring as well?
That's just from the street to my house. That's to the street to our conduit. What the hell would they call that when you have, where the water from the main goes to your little unit? You have a little unit. He showed me. It's like a
You have a little unit?
Wait, he showed you his
We'll be
little
talking
unit?
about
He
that.
showed me his
Billy's
unit
got
and
the
his
little
cylinder.
Yeah.
And his cylinder.
Billy's admitted he's got a little unit, is what he's telling us. Okay.
It's just the main to the house, right? It's that's all.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
the main line.
No, it goes from the main to a like some kind of your thing.
Yeah, but can you turn it on and off at your thing?
No, I can't. They can. Like if I don't pay my water bill,
Hey,
they can
don't
go
be
in there
turning
and
your
turn it
thing
off.
on and off
They
either.
can shut
See,
you off from the main if you don't pay your water bill.
It should just be your water main.
Oh,
It is.
No,
It is.
you should have in our
fact,
front yard. We have a valve that we have to lift up a cover that we can turn off that shuts off all
Correct.
the water to the house.
It's usually
I have one
on
of those
the
in my
left-hand corner. It's 12 feet or 8 feet off the left-hand corner of your house.
Turn off that lead poisoning, Billy.
I know. Well, this is what's driving me nuts. I'm going to sue these suckers.
Billy's growing a third arm.
Hey, Kel Razor's here. Gary Bruce, who changed his name. Why'd you change your name, Gary? Is here. Brian Blevins, Repairman Jack, and of course, Jake Blues is here. Mr. Monkey Boy, 1969, Smokey the Concat. And you guys,
Smokey.
Huge crowd. And we don't even have Dan here yet.
Big crowd.
You guys hit the like and the subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications, help this channel grow. We've been around for what, 2 years now? We continue to grow. People love us because we love people. And so help us out. And we appreciate you guys being here. What's that, Grant?
And we love comics.
Some of us do. Some of us don't understand their characters. I couldn't believe you didn't get it.
Oh, you mean
I agree with that
X-Men
director
fan over there in the lower right-hand corner?
What's that?
You mean the X-Men fan over in the lower right-hand corner?
Talking about me? No, I'm talking about the guy that was telling you what your character is about.
Oh, that director.
Yeah, the director telling you and Chuck.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe that.
What this really is about.
Like, talk about projection.
Yeah, I know. What was that all about?
I posted on
crap
that.
up,
I said,
man.
you know, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, guys.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I know. I mean, you just reading into stuff. I wish I knew his name because I'd Google it just see how old he is.
Soto.
It's like
Soto.
So wait, I haven't heard this. So fill us in, people who haven't heard this.
Well, the director of the Blue Beetle evidently wanted to do a Bane movie, and so he pitched a Bane movie to DC, and they said no. But we've got this other. He's a Latino, and we've got this other Latino thing called Blue Beetle. We want you to direct. And he's like, okay. And so he started making comments about this villain that's going to be in the Blue Beetle movie, and he loves Bane, and he explained to everybody why Bane is so special, and he's read all this stuff into it about what was it? How did he phrase it? I can't remember now.
It was a lot of intellectual.
Oh, interventionalism.
Yeah, it was just
use that word. I know that.
Yeah,
something like that. You know, basically about American interventionism.
Yes.
Yeah.
That American interventionism is what caused all the problems that currently are there today in Latin America.
I know, isn't that great?
And my first part is, you know where the intervention started? When the conquistadors went there. You know? The Spanish that gave you Latin America. That was the first intervention.
They gave you Mexicans.
Because they weren't slaughtering each other. The Aztecs.
Yeah,
over there, and all enslaving their enemies. Come on, I mean, man.
So he was reading all this stuff into it, and yes, Bane is Latino, but that's not what Bane is about. Bane is about a person who is created by his environment, and Bane is about there's a narcissism about him because he thinks he's an innocent, and in fact he is an innocent, but he believes the world owes him something. So, just like a lot of millennials today, and maybe this director as well, the world owes him something, and so when he does bad things, when Bane does bad things, he's not thinking that he's bad. He's thinking that he's due because he had to serve the life sentence of his father's crimes. And I think that's one of the most incredible things and interesting things about the character is his motivations and what drives him, and none of which are the things that guy
most really good villains actually do think that they're in the right. So I think that's great that he does that, and I think it's really great, and I applaud DC and Warner Brothers for hiring a Hispanic director to represent a Hispanic character. So that's really brave of them.
Do the rest of you guys smell that? It smells like sarcasm to me.
So,
That's a heavy dose of sarcasm there.
that's right. Well,
You
let
had
me
me for a
explain.
minute there, Art.
Yeah, I was like, he's going somewhere with this.
You
Then
really
I
did.
realized,
I'm like, wow. Well, look at
reeled
Art
me
going
in.
off the rails here.
I
Well,
always
we
go off the
normally
rails.
do, but I'm going to try and get this back on track. Now, I had a vision
Don't
for
try
tonight's
too
show
hard.
that it's not really a game show because I hadn't really figured out a way you can score points, but it is kind of fun because I'm going to try and I'm giving you guys choices, okay? And I've kind of categorized these into stuff that is right up your alley. So hopefully these choices will be harder for you to make. And when I present you with the option, you'll make a choice. The rest of us can give our comments on it. You guys in the chat can say, I would have gone the other direction. And this isn't like life things or anything like that, but it's about comics. And except for guys in the show that don't know anything about comics. Now we know who those guys are, and we'll find out as we move along. But there's no wrong answers, but you need to defend your choice. So that's kind of your part in it. When I give you your choice, you pick one, you defend your choice, and the rest of us can give a little bit of commentary, and then we'll move on and go around. And we have 3 rounds of this, so it could be kind of fun.
That should be the name of the show.
Can we
Defend your
hammer
choice.
somebody? Can we hammer somebody for a bad choice or
Absolutely.
a choice we think is bad?
I
think
encourage
that's
it.
the point.
All
I
right.
think that's the
All
point
right.
of the
Game
show.
on.
All
What
right.
kind of show would this be?
All right, so Andy, you're sitting right there first, so I'm going to make you choose first. Now, this is a comic book question, and of course, it's an art question. So I want you to tell me between these two guys, you got to pick one, and tell me why. Are you going to go with Neil Adams or Joe Kubert?
Oh, come on, that's easy. Now,
Is it really that easy?
Some people might think that's tough if they know me, but I think it's easy. I go with Joe Kubert all the way.
Why?
Joe Kubert, I think, is and I love Neil Adams, but I think Joe is just hands down better at storytelling. I think when it comes to the storytelling and stuff, Joe was doing kind of the exciting type in your face stuff, before Neil. Neil might have taken it to a different level, but I think Joe was already doing it. The one reason I like Joe more than Jack Kirby, Nobody Kill Me, is because as much as I like Kirby and 6-panel grids and what he could do with them, what attracted me to Joe's work, even in the golden age, was he didn't do stuff like that. And I like Joe's rendering style. I like the way I like how he sees the world on the page and interprets it in ink in regards to how he'll render, say, backgrounds and things like that. Dan, I wish Dan was here. We were talking about this. And I was like, one of the things I like about Joe's work is he can take, whether it's a brush or a pen, and just squiggle something down on the page, and it's just enough information for you to go, oh, that's a tree. Oh, that's a really small face. But then if you look at it really big, and I was using the artist editions of his Tarzans as an example, if you really zoom in on some of Joe's pages in those artist editions from a distance and shrunk down, you're like, oh, that totally works. It looks so tight. But then when you actually look at the original, it's just the gesture of it's what he can do with the pen and ink, brush and ink for you to believe enough to go, I'm in this world.
When do we get to this
and just his storytelling, his shot choices, from the expansive long shots that he does, that you really get that cinematic feel when you're watching a movie, and you'll see just like this extreme long shot of this little car just driving on this road, and right there you're like, oh my God, that's like a Joe Kubert panel, So yeah, I mean, that's why. And I love Neil's work, but if I had to take one or the other, it'd be Joe.
Art, what do you think about that?
Now why he's wrong?
Go ahead, Art.
Wow.
He can't.
All right. I will give you storytelling. Yes, Joe is a brilliant storyteller, but the man cannot draw superheroes. His superheroes are very, very weak. Neil draws some of the best superheroes of all time. All time. And also Neil has got a rendering style where it's kind of based on like old school pull out brush stuff, but it's way more sophisticated. And I look at it even today and I'm like, holy shit, man, that stuff is brilliant.
Yeah, I see that. And I totally get what you're saying about superheroes. And I can agree with that standpoint. But when it comes to Neil's rendering style, it's not original at all. It's Stan Drake. There's another artist I'm forgetting that Neil mentioned that was an advertising guy that he worked with. He didn't really do much in actual comic books, but he was really big in doing the comic book style ads back in the day that Neil said was a big influence on him. And look, I love Neil's rendering style from that time period, but it's all Stan Drake.
Right, but it is definitely it had turned into his own style, I think, because it's way more sophisticated, I think, than most of that stuff. So it is a derivative, which most things are. But yes. I think it's a little slicker. I think it's a little more contemporary for the time.
Art, turn your mic up just a bit, would you? You're a little low. Okay. Billy, do you have an opinion on this?
No, I agree with him.
He's like, who's Neil Adams? What are you guys talking about?
I know who Neil Adams is. I hung out with Neil Adams a lot.
This is going to be a quick show.
And I totally know Neil Adams' work. No, I agree with Artemis's sentiments that Neil is a far better superhero artist.
Mm-hmm.
But on a whole, like I said, storytelling, innovation, just total draftsmanship, not just superheroes, I'll go with Joe Kubert any day of the week.
Graham, what do you think? I know what you think, Graham, but go ahead.
Well, the difference between the two is Kubert's a cartoonist and Adams is an illustrator. And Kubert is much more powerful. Now, Art's not wrong. Kubert's superhero stuff is very weak. It's not his wheelhouse. But, you give him Westerns or war or just about any other genre, and that guy can turn it on. He's a superior storyteller, better than almost anybody in the business. And you look at this Adams page that you have up here, this Dead Man page, or Brave and Bold page, I should say. And it suffers from A, bad panel arrangements that are hard to follow, and B, figures are all the same size. Those are direct no-nos that you never see Kubert do. When he lays out a page, every page is a masterpiece. Even when he's doing these faraway shots with these little what they used to call clothespin figures. Kubert would just indicate, as Andy said, what you needed to know and fill and then he'd put the details where it was important for you to look. Whereas Neil, illustrates everything. He's more concerned with the figure drawing than he is the actual focus of the reader onto whatever it is that the story demands.
Excellent. Yeah, he's about like designing, like pushing a space, like trying to get the most weird, I don't know, dynamics out of like the shape of the panel. Like that third panel is just it's kind of cool, except that it's leading you to the last panel instead of the panel below it. Your eye is going there. And also he breaks the panel. So it almost goes from panel 1 to panel 2, or panel 1 to panel 3 to panel, 5. You know what I mean? It bypasses the second and the fourth panel. It just kind of blows right past them. And Kubert wouldn't make that.
I would agree with I'm a Neil Adams fan. I didn't used to be a Kubert fan, but I've become a Kubert fan over the years, and especially since getting to know you guys better and listening to your breakdowns of Kubert's, I've got a great appreciation for him. In fact, I remember seeing his I think it was in Heavy Hitters, that Tor miniseries he did, which just blew my mind. I was like, wow, I didn't realize Kubert storytelling was that innovative and that interesting. And because I just hadn't, I was a superhero kid growing up, so I didn't read a lot of the stuff that Kubert would have been working on. And but I'm still kind of a fine line guy like Art, and I still kind of favor Adams, although like this page shows, he made a lot of storytelling mistakes because he was always pushing the envelope, trying new stuff. And a lot of times it didn't work.
Right.
And I would say that Kubert is much more solid storytelling. And I've got a great appreciation for both of them, but I still kind of lean Neil. And maybe that's just because I grew up being a Neil Adams honk and I've yet to overcome those feelings. But it looks like the chat is leaning towards Kubert. So Andy, I should probably give you a point, I guess, because it seems like the chat agrees with you mostly. So, but what do they know? We'll find out as we move along. Art, now it's your turn. Now this is going to be a little bit different for Art. Art's a rock and roller, isn't he? I mean, he claims
he's the Gene Simmons of the Brofessionals.
Well, we're going to see if he is or not. Art,
the Billy Squire,
Journey or Kiss?
Oh shit!
No
problem.
Come on,
dude. There's no contest. There's no contest.
No, let's see what Art has to say.
I'll tell you. Okay, Journey. If you in the day, the only way somebody like myself would be caught at a Journey concert is if he was trying to impress a lady. That's it. That's it. They had a great drummer, Steve Smith, the guy on the right. Far right with the red tank top. That dude is a badass mofo. A lot of the rhythm section, they were all Santana's backup band. So they are really, really good. But I'll tell you, as soon as that uppity guy, Steve Perry, joined the band, they went full on gay.
Wait a second. Hold on. Who was the lead singer before Steve Perry?
It was, oh my gosh, it was the guy from
Santana. It was
no, that was the guy. No, the guy on the left, the keyboardist, was the one who replaced the other guy.
No, he replaced him as a his name was Greg Rowley.
Greg Rowley, that's right, Greg Rowley, because he did a band.
He was the guy that sang Black Magic Woman, and he was the lead front guy for Journey.
That's right,
Steve Perry.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they were kind of like a rhythm and blues kind of soul band, and they were pretty cool. And then the guy on the far left, he was the keyboardist for a band called the Babies.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Oh, I remember the Babies. Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't it time?
Isn't
it time?
Nice.
Art, what do you think of Neil Schon as a guitarist?
I think Neil Schon is too good for that. He was good with the original, like the first 3 albums, but as soon as Perry came in, he got neutered, man. He got neutered bad.
Hey, look, I give it up to Art. He knows his shit when it comes to this.
I was gonna say. Now, okay, so what can you tell us about Kiss, though? Obviously, I guess you're choosing Kiss, right?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, at least Kiss is interesting. I would say, like, as far as musicianship, Journey, I mean, obviously. I mean, if you compare musicianship to any band to Kiss would fail.
Right. But this isn't about who's best. It's who do you prefer, Art?
Well, hands down, it would be Kiss, okay? Because like when I was a kid, obviously comic books, right? And Kiss were like the rock and roll equivalent of comic book characters on stage, right? I mean, they all wore like kabuki makeup, and they all had characters. One was like a spaceman, one was a cat, he was an animal, one was the Star Child,
the demon,
whatever the hell that is. And then then we had the demon, which was badass. He spit blood, spit fire. Yeah. Cool stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Gene Simmons was a big fan of Lon Chaney Sr.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like when he lifts his arms and he's got the bat wings, that comes from London After Midnight.
Well, just Kevin Ryan says Gene Simmons' costume is directly based on Black Bolt. So what's the truth, Graham? Is it London After Midnight or Black Bolt?
London After Midnight.
Both?
There you go. Okay. Billy, you have an opinion on these rockers?
Yeah, I think the only gayer band in the world, speaking of gay, than Kiss is probably Baltimora or Culture Club. My God. You know what? These guys, man. Billy Squire in the Rock Me Tonight video was more manly than the manliest Kiss fucking I want to rock and roll and party all all night, party all day. This band sucks. And I'm from Long Island. A lot of them came from there, Brooklyn. They suck. You take away their stupid makeup. They had like I said, at least the Beatles had screaming girls. These guys had screaming little boys.
Oh,
They
boy.
suck. Their music sucks. Their disco "I Was Made for Loving You, Baby" sucks. They suck. And Gene Simmons is a predator.
Okay, so you're going with Journey then?
I'm going with Journey, man, because you can name 10 Kiss songs. You can't. You can name 10 Journey songs. And let me tell you something about this, RT Bear. We have to include, the band's entire existence. We can't just say that once, Perry joined the band. No, look at their first 3 albums. You love that. You love that.
Wait a minute. So
convince
you're making the
yourself
rules?
It's not
You're making the rules for
1976
Aaron?
anymore or 77. You don't have to act like you care about fucking Kiss.
Aaron makes the rules, not you.
This is turning into the battle on the docks in Mobile, Alabama.
That said, they are fine Americans, though. I got to say, because how they honor the troops in their songs and stuff like that. But Gene Simmons is a douchebag. He's an asshole, and this band sucks. If the New York Dolls were more manly than fucking these guys.
Well, you look up that Steve Perry. Look up Steve Perry, and if after you find out what he's done, see if he's not the bigger douchebag.
Dude,
Steve Perry is awesome.
You know how much
Steve Perry made Journey what it is, dude. When he left, they were nothing.
Someday love will find you and break those chains that bind you.
See,
all I'm
right
saying.
Faithfully.
I saw them Kiss once. They were better than Journey. So there you go.
We're not talking midget.
And if I may,
You know what? I think midget Kiss is better than all of this.
Well, if I could say one more thing, and I'll leave it alone. One more thing.
Okay.
But RT Bear, maybe you should have been, instead of planning on killing little kids in your buddy's van that he did, the serial killer, maybe you should have gotten some chippies in the back of that van, baby, and put on some Journey. Because you went to Kiss with your satanic buddies murdering kids all over Southern California.
Gosh. Kids in
I happen to
service.
know those guys in that van were hardcore Journey fans.
No, they were
hated
more David Bowie guys.
All right, slow down. Graham, do you have an opinion on this?
Not really. I hate both bands.
Good for you, Graham. Good for you.
I hate them both. I think they're both gay bands. I mean,
Okay.
I was, my 2 favorite bands were AC/DC and Van Halen, and I don't mean Van Hager.
Oh, those are good choices.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank
those
you.
will rock you.
Yes, I agree.
I mean,
Bon Scott, baby.
AC/DC is sex and 4 chords. That band is killer. I listened to them. I'm mowing the lawn this past week, and I had Back in Black and Highway to Hell on in my earphones, going damn it.
You know what the best AC/DC?
Oh, those are good.
It's Whole Lotta Rosie. That song is so freaking cool.
They're a cool band. God bless them.
Say she had it all.
Art knows things.
What other rock band has used bagpipes?
There you go. They were the originators.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Fraga, what do you think?
I have a soft spot in my heart for Journey, and it just has to deal with my age.
I think you mean a gay spot.
Nah, man. Escape. Escape. All those hits were right around the right time. Don't Stop Believing and Separate Ways and I thought the way they did Steve Perry was a little dirty. He had his throat surgery and they ended up replacing him and not waiting for him and that sort of thing.
He got the other guys fired. He fired the drummer. He fired the bass player. The bass player was an original founding member.
Oh, Sherry.
That guy
it's a great song.
Ace Frehley.
Hey, if you got to go, you got to go. That's the way it goes.
And furthermore, I wasn't allowed at all to have anything to do with Knights in Satan's service. You know what I'm saying?
Parents wouldn't let you have the rock.
No,
and roll.
no,
didn't want you to end up gay.
No, it was. I think it was the blood, the Gene Simmons, blood, the big, it was scary. We were a church-going folk, and that stuff was scary. And Journey was safe, and Journey was all over the radio. And to Billy's point, yeah, you can name a bunch. I mean, other than I want to rock and roll and party every day, and Beth. Was it Beth?
Yeah, Beth.
I think those are the two the two songs I can name. But I also I have to say when it comes to Graham's choices, those are not terrible choices. But since we are doing this or that,
yes,
it's Journey.
Because, just Kevin Ryan Graham says, Lopresti, my inspirations, Lon Chaney Sr. from London After Midnight, silent film, and Marvel's Black Bolt. Now you know, Gene Simmons, 2019. So it was both.
See?
How about that?
That's what I said.
Hey, Fraga, real quick. Neil Adams or Joe Kubert? Pick one.
Neil Adams.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, you're wrong.
Man, you're so wrong, but that's okay.
I could be wrong.
This is a tough choice for me because I Kiss is the ultimate garbage rock and roll band.
Just stop it, garbage.
Yeah, and
hey, come on.
I'm kidding.
I love Hard Luck Woman, and what can I say? But
what about their songs?
I'm a closet Journey fan, so I am going.
You got to be in the closet to like Journey.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Thank you, Graham.
All right. You know what? Yeah, okay. How much?
Well, let me put it this way. Hang on a second. Let me put it this way. I have gone and seen Kiss in concert. I have never seen Journey in concert, so I guess maybe that answers the question. Andy, pick one of these guys.
Oh, hey, out of the closet, no problem. I take Journey. I grew up, I had Kiss albums. I had Paul Stanley's single. I had Journey albums. But as I got older, the Kiss stuff went away, and I would keep getting Journey, their greatest hits and things like that. And if I'm going to turn something on, I don't really listen to music much anymore. But if I was going to turn something on out of these two, I would go to Journey's greatest hits with the Steve Perry
Art, everybody's against you today, but Kino Reviews for $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Hail Graham, Blue Beetle DOA. Ordered your book today. Hail CG Fellowship." Thank you, Kino.
All right, Kino. Kino actually gave me a box of cigars. I was in Tampa. He brought it, and they're Florida grown cigars, and they're amazing. So flow
grown cigars.
Flow.
Yeah. What did you say? It's got like Connecticut or Virginia wrappers or something.
It's a Connecticut style wrapper. Yeah. But it's grown in Florida, and then I think it's put together in Dominican, maybe.
Florida, man.
Hey, Dan, what kind of wrapper are you, Dan? California.
What kind of wrapper?
He's Hoboken.
I'm the kind that gives you big hugs. I'm like a wet blanket type of wrapper.
There you go.
Wrapper of Christmas and birthday presents.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's get this train back on the tracks. Billy, this is your category now. This is not who you.
I'm not a rapper.
Wait, but what do you mean by category? What's it that now that we've had me be late, and it's a great segue for others that have joined? What are the mechanics of this or that?
I have picked choices for you guys that I think fit into your wheelhouse. So hopefully they'll make good conversation and make it maybe a tough choice for you.
You customize it for each one of us?
Yes.
Okay, so
I picked up on that as soon as you went to Art.
So the Neil Adams Kubert one wasn't mine. It was
that was
me.
Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping score. We're keeping score, but we're not adding it all together. It's not.
That's right.
It's just a game.
Aaron's the one keeping the score.
Deciding who the winner is. And we're getting participation from the chat, see what they think. There doesn't seem to be a consensus on the Kiss Journey thing in the chat, but we'll try this one. Now, Billy, this is not who's your favorite, but maybe what you think was most significant or most important. So let's take a look at this. The Revolutionary War or the Civil War?
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's bold.
Wow. Man alive. Golly. Boy, that just came out of left field.
Smoley Ho.
Good question,
I would have to say the Revolutionary War.
Why?
That basically kicked off the French with gave us Napoleon, the end of Louis XVI and all, the French Revolution. But without this country, now today, luckily today, all five of us right here, we are citizens of the United States of America. Had we not fought this battle of independence, we would just be like everyone else over in the United Kingdom. We would be subjects of the crown. And I think that so here's the thing is that What can we say is America's greatest gift to the world?
Constitution.
Constitution. What do you guys think?
Comic books.
Comic books, jazz, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know what England's greatest contribution to the world was?
The need for dentistry.
Figure that out. No,
Magna Carta.
No, England's greatest gift to the world was America.
Oh,
wait a minute. They didn't give America.
No. That's right. We took it. And I love this picture on top because Americans, and there's a meme about it, that Americans starving with no shoes in the dead of night will cross a frozen river on Christmas Eve and kill you.
Exactly I've seen that. That's awesome.
And then sing songs about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would have to say that definitely the shot heard around the world. From Lexington and Concord. It's something that just whenever I see that, there's the John Adams film with HBO film starring Paul Giamatti, right? Giamatti. When they're reading the Declaration of Independence and they start going all over the states and they're reading it at different places. A blacksmith's reading it. Someone's reading it at Independence Hall. John Adams' wife is reading it to her children. I think that I'd have to say in the contents of the entire world, the Revolutionary War.
All right. Well, the thing we have to take into consideration, Graham, I'm going to toss this to you, is we have one war that started the country and one war that saved the country.
Oh.
So go ahead. What do you think?
Well, there wouldn't be a country and there wouldn't have been a civil war if it wasn't for the Revolutionary War. We'd still be under England's yoke. And so one wouldn't have happened without the other.
True.
The Civil War was something that was brewing and coming for many, many years. But the Revolutionary War is the one that got it going and established what's the word I'm looking for? It set a precedent among the world. Never in the history of the world did a colony ever break away from its mother country until we did in 1776. So,
good point.
I don't think anyone ever has since, though, have they?
I don't think so either.
No,
and let's put that in perspective. England at the time the colonies broke away from them was the most powerful nation on the planet.
That's right.
They had the biggest navy. We had help, the French helped us and Native Americans helped us too, to a certain degree.
We were so grateful to them. We gave them blankets and stuff. Man, we really appreciated it.
But also because of this, it's like when you throw a pebble in a pool of water and it just starts to ripple out. It's come to the thing that there is no nation on earth that have sent more of their sons to their deaths for another's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
No country in the history of the world have more of its citizens died for another's freedom.
Well, and can we also add that our interests lay in many places?
Well, every country's interest lays in a lot of places, but when you've got rampant, fascism, running amok, and and people being slaughtered and enslaved and things like that, who's the ones that stop it? These guys, including those 400,000+ men on the left-hand side of the bottom picture, that we lost over 400,000 Northerners, almost 500,000 Northerners in the Civil War to save this country. So
think about this. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who just came back from Gettysburg, and think about what it was like to fight at that time. You had these guns that had firing caps on them, but you still had to load the balls in and everything. Most of the deaths happened after the war, after the battle, because of infections and amputations. But imagine a battlefield like Gettysburg after the fact. Like, everybody's cleared out, the Southerners have retreated, and now you've got thousands of bodies laying in a field in a summer in Pennsylvania and horses. What the hell do you do with that? Imagine what that smelled like.
Wait, why imagine when we can ask Art to bear?
Art was there. He was so quick. He jumped out of the way of a cannonball, or he would have lost a leg.
Yeah, I was the guy playing that little drum.
That's right.
Dude, the funny thing about
that's Art in the top picture holding his hat.
The funny thing about the Civil War, though, is, Graham, we've had this conversation, right? Is that no matter what happened, if you got a splinter, they take your leg off.
Right.
Yeah.
And every guy, let me get my gun. Hang on, let me get a gun.
Hang on a second. Eric Winberg for $2. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. He says, gorgeous. Which king was there to draw this? Well, we all know that Art. We just answered that question.
Yeah.
Now, see, I was going to say when somebody who was it that said, imagine being there, I was like, sure, just think of Oakland now. The smell.
Yeah. Look, here, just to answer the super chat, I didn't actually do the artwork, but I did know the guy that did the artwork.
That's right. I knew a guy who knew a guy.
Who knew a guy.
It's Cowboy Billy.
So here's a picture of every Civil War veteran. So he's got his one arm because he's got his arm cut off, blown off, right? He's holding his pistol, and he got shot in the face, and he's like this.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
it's true. It's horrible.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
War is hell, gentlemen. So, Frag, I'm going to assume you're going to go Revolutionary War, or
we're talking about these paintings, or are we talking about?
We're talking about the actual
I'm
war.
totally kidding.
Did you just wake up?
I'm being a pothead right now. You mean which? I like the top one because they're going from right to left. There's a bit of conflict in the bottom one, and the bottom one, they're Dukes of Hazzard fans clearly because they're like repping the General Lee.
That's
and
right.
I can hear No, I'm 100% behind Revolutionary War just because of the marker in time, the precedent it set. I would say I echo 100% along the way. And at the end of the day, I think all war is terrible.
Of course,
but this or that Revolutionary War.
Lord Colostomus Butt Eagle says, one of my ancestors was at Bunker Hill, and I still have some family letters from the Civil War. How about that?
That's wonderful.
That's
cool.
Incredible. And that's, living out here in Georgia and driving up and down, the coast and seeing where these battles took place, it's kind of sobering.
Yeah,
I
think so.
Well, Greg, Andy, 30,000 men at Gettysburg. Something insane like that. If someone could check that,
well, this was the Civil War was the war we lost the most men, obviously, because we were responsible for both sides fighting. Andy, Art, you guys, any dissension? Are you guys on board with the revolution?
Oh no, I'm Revolutionary War side, just from the fact that if that didn't happen, the rest wouldn't probably have either. It's like the Ripples thing, and that was the one that gained us our freedom and stuff. So revolutionary all the way.
Art,
I
Revolutionary
agree.
War.
Yeah, I agree. There's just one thing about the Civil War that's always freaked me out is it's brother against brother. Like there were houses divided, there were people in neighborhoods fighting against other. That's some scary shit. I mean, the paranoia that must have just ran rampant in these towns and colonies and stuff like that. Like now you look at oh well, they're Republican or they're Democrat, so you look at each other sideways. Could you imagine back then? Holy shit! What side are you on?
I know.
It's almost like somebody
wrong answer gets you
said that
killed.
they voted for Trump.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Graham, we're going to shift gears.
All right, give me a Star Trek question. I know it's coming.
Oh no,
he's going to put up Star Trek or Star Wars.
No,
I thought he put up Kirk or Pike.
No, he's going to ask you. He's going to
Star Trek 1 or Star Trek 2.
I know all of Graham's Star Trek answers, so we've had this conversation before on his show, so I know I'm not going that direction.
Well, I think it should be green skin or black skin.
And you're
on your alien.
Here we go. Are you ready? This is a tough one. Alex Raymond or Hal Foster?
Wow.
That's an easy one.
You think so?
Yeah.
We got Hal on top. We got Alex on the bottom there.
Well, here's the reality.
Okay.
I don't like either of these strips to read. They're tough chews, particularly Prince Valiant, because it's more like a verbal narrative as opposed to true comics. Whereas Alex Raymond's, we have word balloons here, and it's more comic-like.
But spanning all of their work, not just necessarily these two strips, but all of their.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go. I got to go with Raymond then, because he went off into other directions. He did, the sci-fi stuff with Flash Gordon, but then he also did Rip Kirby, which was amazing. Whereas, I mean, of course, Hal Foster did Tarzan too before he did Prince Valiant, but once he did Valiant, that was it. He retired on that.
Do you think one guy's draftsmanship is better than the other, or because that's a tough? That's
really tough. I mean,
right.
They're slightly different in their stylistic interpretations of things. If you're comparing these two strips, one is researchable because it took place in real life, so to speak. The other one, he had to make that shit up, like those rocket ships. This is long before space travel and all that.
Excellent point.
So perhaps there's a little bit more imagination in Raymond. It's really tough. I've got to give it to Raymond just by a hair.
Okay, Fraga, what do you think?
Alex Raymond all the way. I mean, and I really
not even close, huh?
No, for every reason Graham said, the stuff with Hal Foster was beautiful, illustrative. I know that a lot of people used him as the gold standard, including Buscema for Zeta. But when you look at Alex Raymond's work, especially the Rip Kirby stuff, there is a character to the line that is its style, where Hal Foster, I felt, was very crisp and very clean, almost proscenium-like setups, except the very famous one where they're going over the bridge. The one I'm talking about. That one, I could stare at that one all day long. But when it comes to Alex Raymond, I'm just impressed by the character of the line work itself. And again, I brought this up several times, but watching Graham's storytellers really inspires you to get to seek more information about these gentlemen that are from almost a century ago. And I was familiar with Alex Raymond, did some more deep diving regarding him, and then of course found the Dave Sim book, The Strange Death of Alex Raymond, which goes further into the behind the scenes of the whole sort of Connecticut connection with Sickles and Kniff and Raymond and Foster, and like the rivalry that was between some of these guys at the time. It was quite interesting to find out. But one of the things that I found the most fascinating was that Alex Raymond had a bit of mystery about him for the kind of lines he was producing. They called it the Nightingale effect. And he was able to do these lines with his brush that no one had seen before. And Dave Sim in this book goes into great detail about how he prepped his brushes before he went and did it. But also that he was a madman. He got, was it Stan Drake? Is that whose car he got into, Graham?
Yes. He
got into Stan Drake's brand new car and drove it into a tree, killing himself and injuring Stan Drake, and just kind of one of those crazy, like when you learn about Renaissance painters and how some of them were like murderous, insane people, you just go, wow.
Plus Raymond was a Marine, so you got to give him that plus.
Yeah,
there you go. But there to me, I'm going with Alex Raymond because again, echoing what Graham said, there's a bit of invention that's happening, but also his style is so notable. Like there's a signature to what he does, which is one of my favorite things about artists is when you can look at them and it's super definitive who it is. Alex Raymond, hands down for me. That was my
also,
long win.
If you look at their physical proportions, Raymond exaggerated the figure to that that classic 9.5 heads high. Whereas you look in that second panel there, that Viking and that short stubby little arm, his figures never look very dynamic to me.
Yeah. Hang on a second, guys. Kino Reviews for $4.99. Thank you so much for that super chat. Speaking of draftsman, Graham, and to the rest of the crew, digital or traditional? I'm all traditional.
Both.
Traditional. I mean, I do both, but right now I'm back on a traditional bandwagon, you could say. So, and I just like the feel of the paper and the inking, especially when it comes to penciling. That's fine, digital, traditional, whatever. But when it comes to inking, I like doing it traditionally.
Art?
Yeah, paper, ink on board, the best thing in the world.
Billy?
Yeah, I don't even know how to do digital, so I'm all traditional.
Graham?
Both. I do.
You have a preference?
Most of my books I've done lately all digital. But like when I do Escape from Monster Island, I'm going to do that traditional because the other two books were done traditionally, and I wanted to have that same feel.
Dan?
Tradigital. I go back and forth. I do most of my thought process, like the genuine thumbnails, like the thinking ones on paper. I like that tactile feel. But then once you get into digital, I like the wide world of being able to kind of adjust and move things till it feels right, and then I'll pencil something digitally, but then output it and then finish it traditionally. Because again, there's something magical about the quality. Look at that, dude.
Yeah,
I know.
Look at that. That's like a John Buscema panel right there.
Yeah,
look at
that's gorgeous.
Not Dr. Zayas. What's his name? Dr.
I can't remember.
Flatulence.
But that brushwork.
We'll call him Dr. Zayas for this show.
Yeah.
He's a monkey.
Well, doesn't this kind of look like Redondo a little bit? Or you can see Redondo getting a little bit
definitely.
Some Alcala.
Zarkov.
Yeah, Alfredo Alcala. Yeah.
Little nest.
Look at that horse.
Look at that horse.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Horses.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I love Hal Foster to death, but I'm going to go with Alex Raymond too, because I think Hal Foster was always a little stiff to me.
Yeah.
His figure work and stuff, despite the fact I love his detail and his drawing ability.
Yeah.
I always felt that that Alex Raymond had just a little bit more flow to his work, but both brilliant drafts.
Hey, Aaron, can you share this?
That looks like a miniature version of a Brian Boland drawing.
Yeah. Oh, is
this that is Alex Raymond right there.
Yeah. Look at how he evolved as an artist.
Oh my gosh! Look at that female figure. Are you kidding me?
I know, that's why I stopped.
Look at the suit.
The black.
The
suit. In the suits. Yeah, and then the coarse shadows on her. Just enough there. This is so beautiful.
And the pipe. My God, the pipe.
It's super
now, of course, these guys made enough money to hire models.
Lord.
But still,
now, Graham, would you
photo reference?
Graham, would you? This is your category, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Graham, would you? I've always sort of looked at Alex Raymond from where he started to this, and then I looked at Al Williamson. Sort of made the same sort of tradition or transition from kind of being Frazetta-esque to more graphic like this, don't you think?
Well, I think Williamson and Frazetta were contemporaries that worked together and stuff. Williamson revered Alex Raymond, so he developed his style based on Raymond.
Right.
He even did Flash Gordon.
But he, in his 60s, though, Williamson started to look more like this version of Alex Raymond than the original one. Is my point? Don't you think?
Oh yes, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when Williamson was doing Secret Agent X9, very much had that look, you know.
Excellent. Okay. So Andy, who do you like? Just quickly.
Alex Raymond, hands down. Kind of repeating what the other guy said. The thing I've always liked about Alex's stuff, and Graham brought it up, was, you know, Hal Foster, as much as, you know, his work is very, very, it's just beautiful to look at, but his figures are just very realistic in regards to proportions. They're, you know, normal six head high figures. Whereas you look at Raymond and he really put him, in using today's terminology, in that superhero lengthened height and physique of 8.5 to 9 heads. And he had more dynamics. And I think, you know, if you look at with Hal Foster, he stayed. I mean, once he did Prince Valiant, he was just on it until he retired.
Right.
And yeah, you can see the progression of his work, but it still has that same style from when he started. Whereas with Al being able to, or Alex going from Flash Gordon, you know, Jungle Jim, Rip Kirby, so on, and just doing advertising stuff too, because he did paintings and stuff as well. Whether he was like, well, now I'm doing this, so I'm going to try and experiment with a different look, or whether it was just a natural progression, you can line up a bunch of Alex's stuff throughout his career and see differences. Whereas with Hal, it's pretty much the same. You know, he got better as an artist, like, you know, we all strive to do, but it still has that sameness to it. And yeah, I mean, I fell in love with Alex Raymond's work when I first saw some of the stuff hanging up at the Kubert School. And I was just like, oh my God, who's this guy? And it was some Flash Gordon stuff. And I tracked that down and just loved it. So
Art.
Yeah, I definitely Alex Raymond. Hal Foster, just a little Mr. Roboto-ish, is always a little stiff. I always like Alex Raymond stuff is just way more interesting, and it's more alive. I think it's probably just more alive. But Hal Foster, that stuff's gorgeous, man. Yeah. I mean, hands down, it's beautiful to look at.
These are tough choices, man. These are tough choices.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
F in the chat says Kit Carter's going to be sexy, right? And I go, well, I guess that depends on you, but I don't draw ugly women, I'll tell you that. Okay. So, did you guys know Alex Raymond also painted the movie poster for Robin Hood with Errol Flynn?
No. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Wow. Well, if I could throw my little 2 cents in real quick.
That's right. Yes, I'm sorry,
Billy. Is that and I agree with you guys, with all of you. Foster was almost 20 years older than Alex Raymond. So he, you know, a lot of people think Foster because I'm sure he was an influence on Raymond. I just assume that. But if you look at Alex Raymond's paintings, it's phenomenal. When he was in the service during the war and stuff, and he was in his 40s when he died, when he was killed.
Yeah,
so he wasn't killed. He wasn't killed.
He was killed in a car accident.
No, he drove that thing into a tree, dude.
Oh, okay. So
he didn't do it on purpose, Dan.
Yeah, I think there is suspicion that he did.
All right. So when he suicided himself,
all right,
allegedly,
just saying,
he was in his 40s. Yes. So just imagine the work that he would have done afterwards.
Right. He kicked a lot of butt in a very short period of time, is what you're saying. And that's an excellent point. So it looks like Raymond's the big winner here. Dan, things are not going to get any easier for you, I'm sorry to say.
What do you mean? These don't feel different.
Oh my God, it's going to be John Byrne or Rob Liefeld. No, it's going to be John Byrne or Michael Golden.
Well, here we go. Maybe
peanut butter or jelly.
Maybe this isn't as hard as I thought it would be, but let's see. What is Dan? What do you think of this? Are you going to go with Michael Golden or Art Adams?
Oh boy!
Oh shit!
That's a very, very easy.
Man, I've never seen that Batman before.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Very easy decision to make. It would be Michael Golden.
Why?
Because he checks more boxes, and this is going back to the Revolutionary versus Civil War. No Michael Golden, no Michael Golden, no Arthur Adams. Like it just no two bones about it. You know, you look at early Art Adams. There's Michael Golden. There's some Kaluta. There's some Barry Smith. and some Simonson. Those are like the major ingredients. But Golden, I think, was proliferated throughout Adam's career. And when Golden went even more cartoony, Art went more cartoony. It was like right around when Golden started doing the nom, his stuff started changing proportions in a sort of more cartoony way. Also, Michael Golden is my favorite artist of all time, and I didn't come to that conclusion simply. There was definitely a stringent set of criteria that had me arrive at that point. I like Kirby, I like Byrne, Mobius, Neil Adams. The list goes on and on, Frazetta, etc. And what I found is that each of those guys, I like them for different reasons. What I found with Michael Golden is that he's like the Voltron of all of them. His storytelling's clean and clear. His design is great. His gestures are natural and powerful. He draws attractive characters. He's also a cartoonist, but manages to have a semblance of reality. He grounds it with lighting. But there's still like a squash and stretch to his stuff. He's just, to me, the most well-rounded of all,
Would you be of the mind to say that the student can never be greater than the master?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that.
But in this case, you're going to stick with Golden.
I'm sticking with Golden, yes.
This is tough for me because I know Michael really well, and he was very influential in my career. I really dig Arthur's stuff as well, but I obviously know the influence that you're talking about is clearly there and is really obvious in his early work. But I would say Arthur's evolved quite a bit since then. I'm not going to say one is greater than the other, but I probably right now.
See, you told me it would be tough for me. That was projection, man. That was all projection.
No, right?
Well, fuck.
I guess I'm going to stick with Golden because I'm kind of the mind that it's really, really, really difficult for the student to be greater than the master because, like we talked about the Revolutionary War, without Golden, is there an Art Adams? Or there is, but what does his stuff look like? There's still Arthur Adams, the artist, whether or not Golden existed or not. But what would Arthur Adams stuff?
It would be way more in the Kaluta. I think it would be more in the Kaluta Simonson zone.
Definitely Simonson, yes.
Yeah.
I like Arthur Adams's. He's a stylized anatomy, but I prefer it to Golden's. Golden's gets a little wonky sometimes, but I love Golden's innovation so much that it's hard to pick against him. So
yeah, there was the frame that settled it for me was a splash page in G.I. Joe Annual #2 where the October Guard are driving these sort of SUV vehicles. And they're jumping vroom, like this.
Mm-hmm.
I remember staring at that as a kid, and I'm like, it's moving. Why is it moving? This is a still image, but I can feel it moving. And now as an adult and someone who can give it an analysis, I could see he was using animation, squash and stretch principles in there, and there was a line of action even in the tech. The tech, which is usually rigid, he had a little bit of
there's a little curve to it.
Yeah, and like the distortion of the gun, like it was living.
Nobody can touch Golden's mechanics because they are alive, and that's the one thing he does that is so amazing is how he can bring a Jeep or a helicopter, and it has personality. It's not just a prop. It's part of it.
When it's skidding around the corner, you feel the weight of the inertia of the whole thing. He understands forces. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
He understands form, lighting, and forces.
Yes.
Where I think Art understands space very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he understands space and proportion and sort of 2D composition. But I never felt like Art threw a punch that I could feel the the life of the energy of it. And that's something that Golden, especially in his top work, has over Art Adams for days.
Andy.
I go Golden all the way as well. Some of the same reasons. Everything I think he has movement. Just looking at these two pieces right here, I get more of a sense of movement out of the Golden piece than Art's piece. You know, with the Golden piece, because of reading left to right and the strong diagonal he has with Giant Man's head and his arm, you follow it and you really get the feeling of it reaching out. I think when Michael draws comics, just the composition in the panels to help lead the eye around the page, I just think he's a master at that as well, with composing the elements inside of each panel, thinking, okay, how am I going to move this to the next panel, so on and so forth. I love the way he does lighting. I remember when I was sharing a studio with John Beatty back in the day, and John was, he worked with Mike a lot and was good friends with him and stuff. And I think John was the first one to tell me that Michael would do 3 light sources whenever he did stuff. He'd do the main light source, reflected light, and then an ambient light, which is, the light that's all over. And once he said that, and I started looking at his stuff and really looking at it, even things like there's this one Superman cover, or maybe it was a pinup, where he was flying with these F-16s or some type of jets behind him. And it wasn't really harsh lighting on it with like strong blacks and stuff, but you could still look at it. And with the way he does his rendering and his line work and go, oh, he's using this line work like on this thigh right here to indicate the main light coming down. This kicks in with reflected. I just think he's just a genius at what he does. And while he started off, if you look at his early Batman stuff, and you can see a little bit of like Neil Adams and the way he did Batman, he just evolved so fast.
Yeah.
To his own thing. And you can tell he loves Jack Kirby. But he's just one of those guys you just look at and go, this is just an original. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing against Art. I love Art Adams as well. Like, you're definitely making these tough choices, because I do. I wish Art would do interiors, but it's like, as soon as Dan brought up the whole Revolutionary War, Civil War thing, I was like, damn it, that's what I was thinking. You can't really have one without the other. So,
right. Yeah.
Well, Marcus, I go Golden, and I like Golden's cartooniness more as well. Like, Art is cartoony. I mean, look at it, you can see it. But if you look at with these two examples you showed, and I don't know how old this Art Adams piece is, I'm guessing it's within the past 10 years or so. Whereas we all know that Golden piece is 35 years old now, 40 years old.
Yeah, that had to have been early 80s, right?
Yeah. But still, Golden's work now, the figures are more stylized and cartoony. And, if you look at that Batman figure, that's really riding the line of like realism cartoony. I think it's down the line.
It's an action figure. Looks like action figures.
Yeah. So I go Golden. I mean, I love the G.I. Joe job. And then probably my second favorite, I know Dan's favorite, is the Marvel Fanfare with the Hulk and Spider-Man, which we found out. Well, my favorite's Avengers Annual 10.
See, that's what I was gonna. Doctor Strange, Avengers Annual 10, and Fanfare 47, and Fanfare 1 and 2 are great. His art book comes out this week, by the way.
I know.
That Doctor Strange issue that Terry Austin inked is my favorite Golden piece. But.
Now, did you know, Dan and I found this out at Heroes Con, that Marvel Fanfare 47 Hulk and Spider-Man, he inked that whole thing with technical pens.
Which is insane.
All right, I'm going to go look at it
again. And what I just found out today is that Michael Golden Marvel Stories IDW book has the complete Marvel Fanfare 47 story in it.
Oh, I know Dan's going to the shop tomorrow. Oh no, you pre-ordered.
I ordered it back in January when they announced it, man. Yeah, so it's got 2 Savage Tales stories in it, the Fanfare 47, some Doctor Strange, some Avengers Annual 10. You know, but they've got the Micronauts. You can get the Micronauts one, and then there's the G.I. Joe. They made a portfolio of it.
Yeah,
which is great. I think Jim Lee used to own it, the whole story.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's keep this train moving. Art, you got anything to add here?
I want to be contrary and just go Art Adams, but there's just too many good points. There's just too many good points with Golden. If I had to choose just between these two pieces, it would be Golden over Art Adams, and I love Art Adams.
We do. We all love him.
But one is just I think it's going to sound weird, but one is more stylized in a way. Like Art Adams is almost more stylized. It seems like Golden has a little bit more of like a foot in the real world, even though there's a lot of cartooning going on there with the realistic lighting, and this tech stuff looks tangible, looks real. So I just think that if we're just going based on who's better as an artist, I would have to go Michael Golden. Although I love you, Art. I love your work, man. I mean, this stuff's fantastic. Yeah.
This is like what do you like more, eating or sexy time? You know, it's like you got to have them both. You got to have them both, really.
Combine it, yeah.
Billy, what do you think? You're muted.
Yeah, I'd say that both these men are rock stars and gods. That's for sure. But I agree with you guys. I just think with Michael, with his just his innovation, draftsmanship, storytelling, his how eclectic he could be with his style, because he could vary, with styles. Like he was saying, he could be very detail oriented, and then he'd be very cartoony. Sometimes in the same panel, like you said, when you had that Jeep turn the corner, the Jeep's actually bending and stuff. Just brilliant. Both brilliant creators. But I too have to give it to Michael Golden, who's if you remember, we voted Michael one of on the Mount Rushmore comics.
Yep. Yep. Graham, any dissension there?
Golden, 100%.
There you go. He's to the point.
The reason being is is I think Andy pointed out that, one is 30 years old. The other one's like maybe 5-10 years old. But if you're going to take the two of them at their peak, I'll throw Michael Golden's The Nam up against anybody. We talked about how he drew tech. I had Michael on my show, and I told him, you are the modern day Roy Crane, because he took realistic situations, military too, the same way Crane did with Buzz Sawyer, drew the hardware realistically, but cartooned the characters and gave it, dramatic and film style lighting. Absolutely incredible. So I like art stuff too. Not a huge fan. I mean, it's very stylized and it's fun to look at, but he's not doing sequential stuff. He's kind of like doing posters and that stuff now. So I got to give it to Golden.
All righty. All right, guys, we're going to go through the second round of this. And now you're going to take what you picked the first time. So, Andy, if you recall, you chose Kubert, and I'm going to give you another choice. And you're basically going to give me. Okay,
hey, before you do that, just to be fair, I'm going to give you a choice. Now, I don't have a graphic to show, so I'm just going to name two things.
All right.
Or two names.
Too.
Now, it's going to be a hard choice. But you got it's this or that, Aaron.
Okay.
Sammy or Josh?
Oh, shoot.
Depends on. I thought you were going to go Wrightson or Frazetta.
That's a dick move, Andy.
It depends on
dick move
in the room.
Who's Sammy or Josh?
His kids.
Oh, God, I thought that's a.
So wait, are you saying who do you want to mow the lawn?
Yeah. What are you saying exactly? All right, smart guy Andy. Are you going to trade Kubert for Omida or no?
Oh shit!
Okay, that's a dick move, Aaron. That's a dick.
That's worse than what I just did to you. Oh my God!
I take it back, Andy. He
I'm
did
sorry.
you
I
one
take
better.
it back. Oh, damn! That is. Oh, good lord. Good lord. You know, there's two versions of me. If I could answer the kid version and the adult version.
No, you got to give me the. You got to pick one.
I know. Oh my god. Shit. That is hard. Oh man.
Yeah, the fun's starting now.
Damn it. That is I can tell you it would have been harder, honestly, if you said John Buscema, but you didn't. So I'm gonna I'm gonna stick with Joe Kubert.
All righty. Art, do you agree with that or are you gone? Billy, you agree with it?
Art's peeing.
I do.
He's got a baby.
I do.
You're going to stay with Kubert over Romita?
Yeah, I will.
All right. Graham?
As a draftsman, I Romita was my guy. He was my first love. But as you get educated and you see, obviously Kubert is much more prolific. He's a much better storyteller. I couldn't get into him as a kid because he was so loose, but I didn't realize the genius of that. It's easy to draw tight. It's really hard to loosen up. I have to give the edge for innovation, for output, and for just his mark on the industry to Kubert.
All right. Art, back to you.
I hands down Kubert, and I know this is sacrilegious, but I was never a big Johnny Romita like senior. I was never a big fan of his.
Blasphemer!
I know.
Kick him.
I know. I think it's okay, but it's just not my thing.
Okay, Danny.
Well, I have no attachment whatsoever to Joe Kubert in any sort of way. Because
that's right. You went Neil Adams.
Yeah, I just didn't, and there's no offense. As I've been shown the way from our bros, and they've got me looking at things. I really admire what Kubert does, and can again mirror and echo the sentiments of what Graham was saying about the artist and seeing the looseness, and that might not have been my bag as a kid, but Romita was definitely my bag as a kid. These were the Spider-Mans that I like. I started. I was a huge Spider-Man guy before I was a comic guy, and my Spider-Man was Romita's Spider-Man. Like it just was, and he was, he's the one that you saw in pajamas and on any stickers or coloring books or anything like that. So anyway, Romita.
Well,
okay,
and that's why I said. Well, for me, that's why I said as a kid, I'm kind of like Graham. Before I went to the Kubert school, I knew who Joe was. I had a few of his Tarzans, maybe a few Sergeant Rocks, and I liked it, but I did gravitate more towards Romita because of the slickness of it, the cleanness. Look, if I was just going to pick, if you were just lay down one thing, who drew better women, Romita or Kubert, I'd go Romita all the way.
Yeah.
All the way. But as a whole,
that's not the question, Andy.
and
who drew
no,
better
I know, and that's why I'm
superheroes,
saying, as of right now, I'm still sticking with Joe.
Okay.
If I had to just look at one or the other's work for the, forever, I would just stick with Joe. So
right.
I'm sticking with my answer is Joe. I'm just saying as a kid.
I wouldn't want to see Romita do Tarzan. I wouldn't want to see Romita.
Well, you did in a way. You saw his Kazar, and it just wasn't
as
powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Romita because he's my favorite Spider-Man artist, and here's the weird thing. I think Kubert's better, but I like Romita better. Even though intellectually I can recognize Kubert as being I think superior, but I do enjoy Romita more. So on that basis, I'm going to go with Romita. And Kino Reviews for $5. Thank you so much for that. To the panel, what did Romita teach you, or what did you learn from Romita?
I go with big, bold brush inking And I love the way he does women's faces. So, and he does great body posturing as well for real people, like his romance comics.
Mm-hmm. Art, anything?
His women were right on. So I'd have to go women. But I wanted to ask you guys real quick. I know this is, a little bit of sidetrack, but with Romita, do you think it was your childhood? Like, is it nostalgic for you? Is that why you
100%
like it more versus like who's the better artist or whatever? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is for me.
I agree with Dan 100% because I think Kubert's better, but I prefer Romita just overall, just because I grew up loving it. So,
because when you look at this stuff, you just think Marvel in the 60s or like early 70s, like it just conjures like, those good vibes when you were a kid.
Oh, you're 100% right. I mean, when you nailed it. When you think of the 60s, 70s, I can see that with John Romita. Whereas even with Joe at DC, when I think DC in like the 70s, I think of Neil Adams. I don't think of Joe Kubert. But I still take Joe.
Yeah. Well, I'm like Graham to wrap. We're going to move on here real quick, but I'm with Graham in the fact that I appreciated Romita's slickness and the professionalism that he brought, the looking to his, and I didn't understand Kubert's looseness, and I do understand it now, and then appreciate all the factors that went into that. But again, for me being, for most of my career, very detailed, very tight, very slick. Romita, I would have picked Romita just because of that. Okay.
Plus, he was a superhero guy. I
was
hero comics, and I really detested Joe Kubert's superhero stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
There you go. Okay.
Did we successfully answer that super chat though?
Oh,
I think it all came down to
I didn't learn anything from I didn't learn anything from Romita. My preference is strictly nostalgic.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't one of my influences, but I did probably I must have picked up that sort of refined look, because that's what I always appreciated most about Romita was how refined and finished his stuff looked.
Yeah, consistent too, very consistent.
I think that's what I picked up, the consistency, particularly how he drew quiet scenes, how he was able to do, the way that Leonard Starr did, and all those great strip guys, those talking head scenes.
All right, Art, we're going to go way off the rails here. We're going back to rock and roll. Are you going to trade Journey for the Eagles?
Oh, shit.
Every day of the week. Oops, sorry, wasn't me.
Ah, God, I hate the Eagles.
Oh, my God.
Wait a second, Art, did you take Journey over Kiss?
Torturing Art.
Wait. Did you take Journey over Kiss, Art?
No,
I don't remember.
Over Journey.
Oh, no, he took Kiss over Journey. I'm sorry. So were you trying Kiss in for the Eagles?
Oh, my gosh. If I hear Hotel California one more time, I'm going to...
Yeah, that song sucks, but my God.
Come on, that's one of the great guitar solos of all time.
Awesome.
This is tough. What this is all coming down to is there's like a nostalgic factor, like that kind of gives you like these nostalgia goggles. So you start thinking like, oh, when I was 12, Kiss was awesome. But then when you get older, you're like, well, the Eagles are way more. They wrote great songs. What were they, like the West Coast Beatles or whatever they called them? Just as far as their output and hits and stuff like that. But you know what? Growing up in Southern California, that's all I heard on the radio. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. So I got pretty burnt out on them pretty quickly.
They were big in Florida too.
Yeah. So God, this is tough. You're doing a good job here, Aaron.
Have you stumped the Artemis T. Bear?
He's
Hey,
gonna make
Walt Simonson's in the chat. Walt Simonson's in the chat. He just said, "Boy, you guys are all so young." Hey, sorry, Walt. Sorry, Walt. We didn't listen to Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Yeah. Hey,
Rudy Valley.
Hey, Walter.
Rudy Valley.
Big shout out to Walter Simonson, one of the greats of all time, joining us. Thanks for dropping in, Walter.
Thank you for not asking that question. Not asking a Walt Simonson question.
Happy 50th birthday to Manhunter too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Birthday.
That
Yeah,
Manhunter rocked me, man. The first Batman comic I ever bought was Detective Comics 441, and the last story, I think it was part 2 of the beginning of the Manhunter series.
Show that again. There it is. Oops, what happened?
Dan, I just found that in my long box today.
What?
Yep,
Yeah.
love that.
And it's colored by Klaus Janson, which is different than the originals, but still very cool.
Do you have the gold edition of that?
I do.
Yep.
Look
at Dan and I are like the same.
Yeah, we are. That's what Dennis said. Dennis said you and I come from the same planet.
Yeah,
that's
good
Let's
stuff.
not forget the amazing Archie Goodwin too.
Oh yeah.
All right, Art, you're not getting out of this just because Walter Simonson's here. You still have to answer this question.
Well, just quick, like Manhunter, like if you look at the original 94 black and white, that vest he wore, that's all inspired by Manhunter. Can I just take Joe Walsh instead of the Eagles? Because I like Joe Walsh way better than the Eagles.
Glenn Fry's awesome, dude. Smuggler's
No, wait, okay,
Blue.
I'll give you that. No, actually, I won't. Come on, see, Eagles are Kiss. Come on, Art.
All right,
Eagles are
I
Kiss.
just want to punch Don Henley. even to fucking
I just
call
want to
himself
punch Don Henley.
a
He's
fucking
dead.
drummer.
Art.
That
I
dude-
believe
No,
he's
Henley's
dead.
alive.
Yeah.
He is? Okay,
Yeah, it's
Glenn Fry's
Fry
dead.
died.
Fry's dead.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
the other dude, guy died like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Which guy?
What?
The guy that sung Lion Eyes?
Yeah, the guy who's not Glenn Fry, the guy who's not Joe Walsh, the guy who's not Don Henley. The other two guys.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Don Felder?
No, Felder. No, there was a guy with long black hair that sang that really high pitch.
Randy, yeah, there you go.
Randy Meisner?
Randy Meisner.
No, Randy Meisner replaced him. It was the guy before that, I think.
McVeigh?
No.
I can't. Hey, listen, I can't tell you why. I just don't know.
I just don't know.
The guy with the high voice.
Yeah,
Glenn
it's
Fry's
the
a
guy
kid.
who's saying, I can't tell you why.
I'm just telling you, Walter Simon says Randy Meisner. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then he would know because he was.
now here's the thing. This picture is
Timothy B.
so
Smith was
old.
the last guy.
That's it. Randy died a couple weeks ago. That's who.
Yeah.
Okay.
Art,
This
you're
picture is
still-
so old. I can't even tell you which one is Glenn Fry, which one is Joe Walsh, and which one is Don
Walsh
Henley.
is in the middle with
come on, dude.
Joe Walsh is in the middle with a dimple.
Fry, Joe
Glenn Fry,
Walsh,
Don Henley with the sweet
Henley
Bob
and,
Ross, and then
Bob Ross.
Young
And then
Jesus,
the other two guys that no one knows.
Young Jesus
Right.
down there.
Young Jesus is Don Felder.
Yeah,
There you
Felder,
go.
right? Yeah.
And the
then
guy on
who's-
the right is
Who's selling the NBC logo?
He looks like he could have played in Journey.
He
Art,
does.
pick one.
Gay. Okay, I'm going to qualify it. I'm going to qualify it but I get to punch. I get to punch a couple of these guys. Okay, so I'm gonna punch Don Henley.
And then who are you going to sleep with? Because isn't that the way it goes?
I would
And then
punch-
marry?
I would sleep with Don Henley too. I'd
Punch, sleep with, and marry?
You want to punch and sleep?
punch and sleep with him. You're not sleeping, Don. Okay, I'm taking the Eagles.
All right, thank you, Art. Billy, Eagles or a Kiss?
Oh,
We know,
geez.
we know how you feel about Kiss, so I guess
I told you I'd take the Bay City Rollers over Kiss. How's that?
that's the
I
next
can't
choice.
believe Art
I definitely
flipped
take
to the
I would take the Eagles over Journey.
Okay, Graham.
oh Eagles all day long. One of my favorite bands. I love the Eagles.
Oh, there you go. So Art, you're just controversial, Art. That's your problem.
I just
Just
want to punch.
I think you're throwing Art you're throwing Art a left hook here. He's not used to. He's like, wait a minute, because he's on his heels. You got him.
Yeah, he's reeling. He's in the
He's
ropes
real. He's
right
getting
now.
mad.
He might go
He gets
down.
mad. He's getting mad at the Eagles, and he hates it constantly.
Well, you guys didn't grow up in Southern California, so
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fraga, are you going to go with the Eagles, or are you going to stick with Kiss?
I'm going to tell you something right now. Right now, and you guys, your minds will be blown. They are not called the Eagles. Okay, first off.
They're called Eagles.
They're just Eagles.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go there. Number two, I have seen them in concert. I saw them in the Hell Freezes Over tour at the Rose Bowl with Rob Liefeld, and that's where I met Billy Campbell, the guy who plays Rocketeer. He was standing right next to me at the concert, And
Really?
I was like, bro, you're the Rocketeer. And like, we had a nice convo, and, nice enough guy. But the Eagles band, the Eagle people, they're just so hitched on so many memories, man. Like anytime I hear Lion Eyes or, I can't tell you why, even Hotel California, which has been played out to death.
Yeah.
It literally, like, I'm teleported to moments of my childhood that they just dun 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 dun. But as soon as I hear that road sound, it's 1976. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I will give him something. I think like modern country, this was the template, like the country kind of rock, like
probably
fusion stuff. I think that it
what
was
do they call
the Eagles
it?
all the
Cunt
way.
pop. Like
Maybe.
cunt pop is like the country pop music, where the Eagles. Yes, you look at a song like Lion Eyes, man. That's a country song if I ever heard one.
Oh, I don't get that. I don't get that from its sound at all.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get country.
Turn into a dock fight again. Yeah. I'm going to shock the world, and I'm going to go with Kiss. Even though I recognize the Eagles at their best are better than Kiss, but there's more Kiss songs I like than the Eagles.
Oh my God!
Wow.
You know what?
Name 5 Kiss songs that you like.
Love Gun,
there's
baby.
the Hard Luck Woman. Shout It Out Loud.
Yeah.
Actually, Detroit Rock City. A lot of the ones off the Destroyer album. Maybe I just like the Ken Kelly cover. I don't know.
That's what it is. I think
Love Gun. Come on, you pulled the trigger on my Love Gun. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What are you even talking about?
Christine 16.
Yeah, look at that. That's good stuff. Art knows. Andy, are you going to go with the Eagles or are you going to go with
what
Kiss?
the best Kiss song is live is Cold Gin.
It's Cold Gin time again. It's the only thing that keeps us together, Art.
All right. Well, the two top A's have it. The two bald guys. I'm going with Kiss. I'll take any Kiss album over Eagles any day of the week. Listen to it, no problem. I've never been an Eagles fan.
Okay.
I had Eagles' greatest hits on an 8-track in my 77 piece of shit Delta 88. It was one of the few 8-tracks I had. Debbie's mother had it, and father would drive around in college. It's like 89.
Let me get a couple super chats here real quick. Leg Kick, thank you for $5. He says, Art, the best of Lopresti, Nolan, Fraga, Smith, and why it's the bald one. I need an interpreter for this. I'm not sure what you're saying.
You give me the best of your love. I don't know. Are these like riffs on
Are you saying art as in art to bear, or are you just saying art as in art and then it's Lopresti? No, I don't understand.
But we do appreciate your $5. Kino Review says pick a different band, can't stand the Eagles. There you go.
Amen.
Look at this controversy.
You know what? I'm going to betray myself. You know what? I'm going to betray myself. Fuck the Eagles. Kiss.
Oh God!
Kiss. Oh, look at Art's change.
Kiss Nation.
Kiss. Yeah, Kiss Nation.
Kiss Nation. I would take an Eagles 8-track and drive down the road and throw it at somebody just to knock them out, because that's all it's good for.
When Andy stepped up and defended Kiss, I was like, yeah, I got to go there.
All right, Billy.
Yes,
Billy.
sir.
Now, you told us that the Revolutionary War was the war, right?
Revolutionary or Vietnam?
No, not quite Vietnam. But what about the great one? What about World War II? Are you going to trade the Revolutionary War for World War II, or are you going to stick with the Revolutionary War?
You're killing me. Golly. I mean, in World War II, we had over 11 million men and women in uniform, and I think during the Revolutionary War is maybe 10,000 or something. That's it. But and on the grand scale of things, oh boy, I have what I think I want to say, because my hunch is to stick with the Revolutionary War, just because of the events. Because let me tell you something, them Ratsies would have won that WW2 if it weren't for this Yanks. But I'm going to defer to Graham Nolan with his infinite wisdom, my friend. What do you say?
Well, I appreciate the passing of the baton, Billy. But however, I just have to say that, again, the Revolutionary War was about the independence of colonies away from a bigger nation. World War II was about the world. We don't win that, and it's all over, folks. If we didn't win the Revolutionary War, we're still part of England, and we're eating fish and chips.
And we would have won it anyway, eventually. You know what? I am gonna defer to my friend, and I'm gonna agree 100% with him.
So I'm going with World War II.
World War II.
Fraga.
War. What is it good for?
War is hell.
Absolutely nothing. I'll
say it again.
Ugh.
We're not glorifying war, Fraga. We're saying which is more significant.
I'm gonna go. Well, again, criteria.
Significance.
Again, significance could be proximity in the linear timescape. You know, but
dude, you're getting too heavy for me. I only listen to Kiss. I can't follow what you're saying.
Okay, I'm saying it happened. World War II is more recent than the Revolutionary War, so we're gonna have more memories, songs, propaganda, and things like that are gonna make us feel a certain way. We have more movies and TV shows and comics and things about World War II than we do the Revolutionary War. So there's that aspect of it. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is what Graham talked about, because his point about it being about the world and also about holding back an impeding paradigm shift that would not have us be eating fish and chips, but having us perhaps not living at all because our relatives were killed or whatever.
Eating sauerkraut.
Yeah, well, I like sauerkraut, but you know.
I just had a Reuben sandwich.
It's little sauerkraut.
Not that much, though. I don't think you like it that much.
I don't like it that much. Not every day. Maybe if there was some bratwurst. But
you're going World War II.
But we would be drinking really good German beer.
That's true. But I am going with World War II. That is
excellent.
Correct.
I am too, for the same reasons already stated. They saved, or the country, the America at that time saved the world. So, or was part of saving the world. Andy.
Oh, World War II, hands down. I just saw Oppenheimer a couple weeks ago. Damn it. World War II, like you said, we saved the world. It was because of us. World War II.
Put a D on it.
I just like the idea of a revolution. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cool. Like, it's revolution. You know,
Art is the contrarian in the group. He's starting to fight every single time.
Art is at the Revolutionary War, so it's special.
Art is his tri-corner hat.
I'm not done yet. But the World War, I mean, it has to trump it, right? I mean, the Revolutionary War, it was kind of, you know, it's cool for America, but I mean, it's a world war. I mean, this is the world at fucking war. How could this not trump everything? You know what I mean? So I'd have to go World War.
There you go. So we're all in agreement, World War II on that one, right? Okay, Graham, things are going to get difficult for you. I'm going to try and fast track this.
The first one was difficult.
Let's hurt Graham Nolan.
We started late, so I know you old guys need to get to bed. So I want to kind of get through this, but here you go, buddy. Are you going to trade in Alex Raymond for Roy Crane?
Oh boy,
not in a million years.
Oh, absolutely, in a heartbeat.
There it is.
That's what I meant. It's Roy Crane all the way.
It's Roy Crane.
Yeah. Why?
This guy's the father of the comic strip, of the adventure strip. A lot of the tropes that we use today, sound effects and stuff, were originated by Roy Crane. He told the story from human perspective. Look at every one of the perspective lines in these panels, because that's how you immerse a reader, by telling it from a human perspective. It's okay to, you know, have bird's eye views and all that for dramatic stuff. But if you want to read a story and really be immersed, you have to tell it from the human perspective. And Roy Crane did that every time. And his panels were amazing. There's nothing boring about that. Look at that train. Look at the detail on the train, and then how it blends to nothingness over on the sides, because he doesn't want you to look at that. You know, he draws you right in. The panel after that, everything was beautifully researched. he did funky little horses and stuff every once in a while, cartoony horses, and his characters were cartoony, but they always had a wonderful sense of gestures.
You know what? I just want to comment on how you were talking about like a human point of view and all that. And as I'm looking at this and as I'm listening to you talk, Graham, are you familiar with Miyazaki, the filmmaker?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like these shots look like they could be storyboards for a Miyazaki film. Because he shoots a lot of those angles. And I was wondering, I watch all those movies and I think, why is this connecting? Why? And you just hit the nail on the head. It's these shots. You know what I mean? They're very human. They're not like pushing the envelope. They're not trying to be something they're not. They're very relatable in the way that they're presented. Not that they're boring or anything, but they're very relatable. And I was like, oh shit, Graham.
Yeah,
you feel like you're in every one of those scenes because of the eye level and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Right. So it's like when you talk to somebody who's just a comic book fan, they get the language of comics, but you talk to somebody who isn't and you throw a comic book in front of them, they don't get it. Right. But I can see it, the average person looking at this and just being totally immersed in it and being drawn into it. That establishing shot of the farm.
Yeah. Look at that. Stuff. Look at the detail on that tractor in the foreground and the nuance of that palette in the background that's up against the wall. Not everything's equal. Some of those slats are off alignment. It's those nuances which I think are just amazing. And then you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth panel where the girl's holding a little flower in front of Sweeney, in his face. He could cartoon like nobody. Just great.
It looks kind of Mobius to me, like that. The one with the flower.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then the panel after that, the perspective of the bench, focusing in on the scene there, drawing the eye to the teller at the window.
It's an incredibly understated panel, but it's incredibly well done with that dramatic perspective on which is just a very sort of average guy at the window. Nothing going on here, but he made it something really interesting by how he set it up.
Yeah, he makes it look easy, and that's what all the greats do. Who was my choice before? It was Alex Raymond. Alex Raymond doesn't make anything look easy. It looks hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it took a lot of work. Guys like Crane make it look easy, and then you realize just how complicated and that it is. That whole last tier just blows my mind. The train station, the negative space in front of it, the picket fence in the background, all little things that don't clutter up anything. There's no clutter in any of those panels, and yet there's just the right amount of detail so you know where to look and to put you into the scene of this like Midwestern town wherever this is taking place.
Okay, Dan, quickly.
Roy Crane.
Okay. Andy?
As much as I love this, and especially the last panel with the car, I'm still sticking with Alex Raymond just because it's just a personal aesthetic. I love this. I really love the way it looks, but I just get more of an energetic and jazzed up comic vibe from Alex Raymond. So
yeah, I can't
and
get
that
out
goes
of
for Rip Kirby and stuff.
Yeah, I can't get out of the fantasy realm of Alex Raymond's early stuff. And as much as I love this and appreciate Graham from what you're saying from a scholastic point of view and just from a technique, and because this is brilliant, but I still kind of lean towards Alex Raymond just out of personal preference. Art, what do you think?
Alex Raymond.
Teen Sensation.
Alex Raymond.
Okay, there you go. Graham, you're well spoken, but you lose. That's
4-2.
5 points. No, I'm kidding. So let's go to Fraga and see if his choice gets any harder. I guess it won't be because he already said Golden is the guy, right? So
Yeah.
Let's see what you try. Let's see.
Now
What
you're going to
try.
pull up 2 eras of Golden.
Let's see. Let's see.
You know what you should do is you should put up a Dan Frega picture and have it compete with.
Well, this is going to seem
who do you like
laughable
better, Dan
now.
Frega? Yourself?
I like me.
Or
I like
Golden?
No, this
like
is going to
me.
seem laughable now, but McFarland or Golden?
Golden.
Yeah,
hands down. But interestingly enough, this contradicts everything that I said about nostalgia ruling, because McFarlane, the first artist whose name I recognize as being a comic artist was John Byrne. Then it went to Rick Leonardi, then Frank Miller. But the one that really hit me like a ton of bricks, like in a way where I was like, I want to draw comics like this, was Todd McFarlane. There was just a level of design and energy and fun to his stuff. I didn't even know who Michael Golden was when I discovered McFarlane. No, it's Golden. I mean, hands down. It's sort of they said that McFarlane was like a poor man's Art Adams or a poor man's Michael Golden. That's what they used to say about him.
Yeah.
That's it. That's that.
Well, there's one thing
that
bugs me is, and I just hear Mike Carlin screaming at me. It's like you never cut, at a joint, and like Spider-Man's ankle it's like cut there, and then there's like these tangents on Wolverine's cowl and his shoulder. There's just some faux pas here, but this is very dynamic. I do enjoy this. This is very cool.
Oh, it's it's very dimensional for sure, but let's just be straight up. That webbing is a Michael Golden convention. It's an. But I love McFarlane, but it's Golden.
I'm gonna assume everybody's gonna go with Golden. Andy.
Yep, Golden.
Billy.
And I do like this piece. I mean, I'm with Dan. I like Todd's Spider-Man stuff and some of his Spawn stuff. I mean, I like the energy he has in his work, but I mean, Golden hands down.
Art.
Oh yeah. Golden for sure.
Billy.
Yes, Golden.
And we know, Graham, you're going to go with Golden as well, I assume, right?
Yep.
All righty. Okay, so
look at that super chat.
All right, Andy. We're going to do a little speed round here. So
you want to grab that super chat first, or you want to do me first?
Yeah, okay, let me do that. Prater 7 for $2. Thank you. Try that again.
Oh.
Let me try it again. There we go. Third time's the charm. Prater 7 for $2. Fraga, Golden or Otama or Shiro?
Oh boy.
Oh, dude.
Think about it for a minute.
Oh, damn.
Think about it. We'll come back to you in a second here. Andy, now here it comes. Hopefully the toughest shot of the day. Are you going to stick with Joe Kubert?
Is this a daily double?
Are you going with John Buscema?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Look at that.
Damn you to
That's one of the greatest.
Damn you to hell, man. Damn you to hell.
Greatest.
Oh God, I hate your guts right now.
That's
kind of like what
you wanted to know. Simonson cover.
I think it was Art said about the Neil Adams Kubert, where Neil does better superheroes. I mean, John Buscema does better superheroes hands down, and he can do westerns, and he can do war stuff
and barbarian.
Oh my God, I feel so bad, but honestly, the way I look at this question you're asking is if I could only look at the body of work of one of these guys forever and the other one's just off the table. Sorry, Joe. I got to go with John. Yes, Joe does do. I think Joe is a better storyteller in regards to.
I would agree. In terms of dynamics
and stuff. But damn it, John Buscema stuff, all the way up into that one of the last things he did, the Superman Stan Lee thing he did for DC is just so cool to look at. I'm switching over to Big John for this one.
There you go. Art, what do you think?
It's John for sure. I mean, even like against Neil Adams, like John wins. Like this stuff is so great. So yeah, Mr. Buscema.
Billy,
Yeah.
Mr. Buscema.
look at this. Look what's happening. Graham.
It's a tough one, because I really love Buscema's stuff, but he had such disdain for it that there's so many times that Buscema's stuff was basically his breakdowns and other people doing the finishes for it. Whereas Kubert was all Kubert all the time. And when Buscema was on and he inked himself, you couldn't touch him. There's nobody. But if we're going by body of work and all the other factors, I'm still sticking with Kubert.
There you go. Fraga, what do you think?
Buscema.
I'm going to go with Big John too. Although I do admit, I think that Kubert was a more innovative storyteller. I think Buscema was very by the book in his storytelling. And that may be what Graham mentioned, because he didn't have a great love for it. He was just kind of doing the job. He just happened to be so freaking talented at it.
He wrote the book on it, though.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's tough because John does a lot of the stuff that I brought up with the first comparison of Joe or Neil, where I said, Joe never got into like the 6-panel grid stuff, whereas John did a lot. But if I just had to pick one just to look at, even with that being said, I just love the structure of John's figure drawing and
faces,
and his superhero work and his Tarzan, his Conan.
You got to admit, when John was doing his thing, which was say like Weird World or Conan, he really did some great stuff. When he was
or this Thor annual, which he inked himself.
This is a great piece right here. I mean, this is from that Thor annual that Simonson did the cover for. Yeah. It's a great story. It's great. Gary Martin is stirring the pot here for $2. He said Golden or Gabe LTA. So
they both start with G. I don't know.
Pot stirring.
I'm gonna still have to go with Golden. So
yeah, I think probably just Golden squeak that one out. Okay, so who? Fraga, you going with Kubert or Buscema?
No, I said Buscema, man.
Okay, so we're all on the Buscema train, except for Graham.
Except for Graham. Graham's not.
Graham, okay.
I'm reluctantly not.
Reluctant.
Only because if we're comparing body of work, there's so much more great Kubert stuff than Buscema stuff that he actually penciled or inked himself. That.
Well, let me ask you this, Graham.
I see what you're saying, but I think.
Whoa, hang on. Art,
go ahead, Art.
Andy, wait.
Who did more work? Like John, did he do more monthly work than Kubert did? Because I think he did, right?
Yeah, but the bulk of it was breakdowns. And
well, but I'm just saying that maybe because he did so much work that he went to the breakdowns.
Well, absolutely. That's why Marvel valued, his storytelling and his layouts more than him. That's why they were reluctant to let it. He wanted to ink his stuff all the time, and but he would wane and lose interest and stuff like that. But Marvel wanted him to, because of his storytelling and dynamics and stuff. They could get Tom Palmer on there. They could get Frank Giacoia on there and finish it out if they had to. Now, early on, he did full pencils on his early Avengers and of course the Silver Surfer. But that Silver Surfer 4 is what kind of crushed him when he went off the rails and did all kinds of different kinds of layouts and stuff that went against the Marvel style. And Stan castigated him, and it fucking broke him. He was like, Jesus, if that's all you want me to do is 6-panel shit and not innovate, that's what I'll do. I'll bang this shit out.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, what if Stan said, this is the best damn thing, this should be the benchmark now going forward for Marvel.
But he let Steranko do whatever he wanted.
Right?
Yeah, but Steranko would have punched him out.
There's an interesting story. I told this, I think, maybe on this very show, that Stan came up to Buscema. If you look at the interview that he is on YouTube, I think is where I saw this, where Buscema said that Stan came up to him later and was like, yeah, that Silver Surfer number 4 is the best thing we ever did together. And John was like, yeah, you tore me a new one when I turned it in, that was the best thing ever. So
Yep.
Andy, what were
I don't
you
know how
gonna
many
say?
years later that was, but he did do that. Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was just going to say, see, so Graham, you were looking at it from the body of work. That's kind of like how you were analyzing it and stuff. And I'm just going with I wasn't looking at it like that at all. I was just going gut, what viscerally to me, if this is all I could look at from here on out, I'm going
Hey,
Buscema.
just
So that's how
one
I look.
drawing I could look at for years. I just love it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
So
all righty. Okay, so
Different
Art,
perspective.
here we go. Art, this is your last chance to redeem yourself with some rock and roll.
Kiss.
Now, are you going to trade Kiss in for my favorite band?
Elvis,
No.
Monkeys.
Roy Orbison.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Ah,
Not even close.
No way, Jose, man. Pink Floyd is perfection.
Yes.
I can listen to it anytime. It is just great stuff. Great musicianship, great songwriting, great concept, great art direction. Like, this band had it all. They had the personalities. They had like the Lennon McCartney thing. They had the two songwriters that were at each other's throats, which just spurred the other one on to do better stuff. Just brilliant work here. So Roger Waters was kind of like the John Lennon. He was kind of the angrier street level guy. And then there was oh my gosh, who was
David Gilmour.
David Gilmour was kind of the more like Paul McCartney type. He was a musician's musician. That guy could play like nobody's business.
Oh my gosh.
His voice was so freaking good.
Did you see there's on YouTube there, they played for crying out, Pompeii in 2015. Have you seen any of that? Holy crap. Oh, when they play that was an amazing. I was like, man, would I love to have been at that concert? But
the live shows were great, and they have a great story. Like, they have, the founding member was a lunatic. He went nuts, and then like "Shine On, You Crazy Diamond," and there was another song that they took inspiration from that guy. And wrote those songs. So it's Pink Floyd. I mean, I could go on forever, but we got to end this show. So Pink Floyd over Kiss for sure.
Billy.
Oh, I would take Floyd over any one of the bands that you had mentioned.
How about all the Bay City Rollers?
What about Journey?
Definitely over Journey. Bay City Rollers. That's a subject for another show. We don't have time right now, but I think I can convince you all over that.
Okay,
that's
Graham?
a topic for Saturday night.
Yeah.
So is it Pink Floyd over the Eagles or Pink Floyd over
Kiss?
Over Kiss.
I took Kiss.
So we have to play by Art's choices. So
okay.
I did say the Eagles, but then I was like,
changed. You went with Kiss Nation at the end and flipped it. So
all right. Well, I would reluctantly pick Pink Floyd. I don't.
Not a big Floyd fan, huh?
Not a big Floyd fan. No.
Okay.
You would take Kiss over Pink Floyd.
No, I said I'd take Pink Floyd over Kiss.
He's reluctantly taking.
I'm reluctantly taking it because I don't really love Pink Floyd.
But you wouldn't take Pink Floyd over the Eagles, though. You're going with the Eagles.
No,
okay.
I'd go the Eagles.
Okay, Fraga.
I'd take the Beatles over everybody.
Okay.
You're talking Pink Floyd over whom?
Kiss.
Over Eagle? Oh, over Kiss?
Yeah. Enough said, true believer. There it is, baby.
The dark side of the moon.
Would you take them over the Eagles?
No.
Oh, okay.
What?
I'm taking Pink Floyd to the bank over just about anybody. So, Andy.
Yes.
Well, first to interject, breaking news, sad news, Sam Elliott has passed away at 78.
No.
I just saw that pop up. Yep.
Man
Saw that pop up.
Man who killed Hitler and then Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Man,
So,
he was
that's
great.
What a great voice, too.
Anyhow, okay, so Pink Floyd or Kiss, they were both ahead of their time. Pink Floyd, obviously, way back then on the LGBTQ bandwagon with that emblem, and Kiss were the first trannies, but
he's not dead.
Everybody's going to hate me.
He's not dead.
Even though I did own Pink Floyd albums, I'm still taking Kiss because
Look at that.
Pink
Kiss Nation.
Kiss
Andy
can at
present-
least wake me up and energize me, and Pink Floyd just puts me to sleep. So
Sam Elliott's not dead.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Sam Elliott is not
Yeah,
dead.
There you go, Andy, spreading gossip and
oh,
rumors.
hey, I'm just saying it popped up on my news thing. So thank
You
God.
better
I just
research it before you
texted
announce
out.
that.
You
Thank
can't
God,
believe
man.
everything you read.
Okay, so that was Art's. Now, Billy, here's your
I'm just
choice.
spreading fake news like MSNBC. Leave me alone.
Now
Attaboy.
this is right down Billy's alley. This is a preference choice, not like what's historically significant. Although you could answer it that way.
Bears beat Battlestar Galactica.
No, you tell me, buddy. Is it Marilyn or Raquel Welch?
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
wow.
Holy crap!
That's an easy one.
No,
All right,
it
you know,
isn't.
well, I'm going to look at this as a like if this, which one of these would I pick as my girlfriend? How's that?
Yeah,
Or my
that's
wife?
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because I would take. Sadly, though, I think I could probably have saved Marilyn. I think she was too dumb and too fragile for me. I like a good tough Polish German like my wife. I would go, man, this is so hard. Holy shit. Now I'm like looking at him and I'm like, oh.
You know, I heard that she was a voracious reader.
Who?
Marilyn
Which
Monroe.
one? Oh,
Oh
Marilyn
yeah,
Monroe.
she's one of them. Like she's got a book open. Every picture of her holding a book, she's open to the first page.
yeah, and it's a picture book. It's a little golden book.
It's like the same thing. She opened the cover. No, man, dude, holy crap! Jeez, because like believe this or not, face wise, I just adore Marilyn's face of how. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Rosemary Clooney. I can't take this. I'd rather
Rosemary Clooney.
No.
Right before
man,
she passed away, Rosemary Clooney.
This is so hard. Both?
You don't get both, Bill.
No, you know what? I'm gonna take. You know what? Just saying with the hair, I'm gonna take Raquel Welch.
Okay, I think that's a good choice, Graham.
I mean, my initial thing would be Raquel Welch till I saw that video of her dancing. You know, that space age dance thing where they're in front of the pillars. You know the one I'm talking about?
I
That
think
video?
so. Yeah.
No, but I don't care.
Oh, it's got these dudes in like these jumpsuits with like these masks on, and they're like doing these dances. You know, and she's dancing in front doing the stuff, and she's really awkward. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. But since I was a kid of the 60s and 70s, I'll still stick with Raquel.
Okay, Dan, what do you think, man?
Raquel.
All right, I'm going with Raquel Welch too. I just think there's just too much there to ignore.
Yeah,
Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
Oh, it's Raquel all the way. One, look at that face. That is a John Buscema face come to life.
It is.
Two, just move your eyes down some. Marilyn's got a bullet bra on. She's not packing a lot of heat up top. We've all seen her naked. They're nice. But look at Raquel. It's Raquel Welch, hands down. That is just the epitome of gorgeous.
My mom used to say how fake Raquel Welch was. She's all fake. She's all plastic.
Well,
later.
Art, shake things up. What are you gonna choose?
Okay, is this who we want to sleep with or who's more beautiful?
Well, you can take it any direction you want. You just have to pick one or the other.
I like crazy. I want Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. See,
well, the good thing is we're all fighting over Raquel Welch, and you got Marilyn Monroe. So
some people say I'm crazy for Marilyn
like it hot.
Monroe.
All righty, there we go. I had to throw that. That's that. See how I categorize these just specifically.
See, I think Raquel Welch's height scares Art. That's why.
You need to show.
All right, Graham. I don't know if this is going to be a tough choice or not for you, but let's
Alex
find
Raymond.
out. Are you going to trade in Roy Crane for Milt Kniff?
Oh,
no.
Nope.
Look, he didn't
I can answer that for Graham.
No. Didn't even hesitate.
That was easy.
Screw Milt Kniff.
Yeah.
Wow, Art. Wait till we get there, Art. It's not your turn yet.
Oh my goodness. Do you like Milt Kniff, Graham, or
Yeah, I like his earlier work when he and Sickles were closer. as he got later on, like in these Steve Canyon things, he did like these sloppy, clay type hands. I thought his drawing got sloppy. These layouts are boring, all heads same size, and he is so verbose.
That's true.
His writing, which I did not care for, which is why I like Frank Robbins better. He was a much better writer.
I was just going to say, Frank Robbins came after this, though, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a real similarity.
Yeah, Robbins came out of that Sickles school too.
Okay.
So the takeaway here then, Graham, is it's Roy Crane and everybody else as far as newspaper strip artists.
Yeah, well, you could, if you really wanted to give me a hard one, you would have said Roy Crane and E.C. Segar.
Okay.
For the
lesson learned.
That would have been a tough one. I'd have jumped off a bridge.
Okay, well, you lucked out then.
Yeah.
So with your choices tonight, though, Roy Crane all the way.
Yep.
All right, Fraga, do you agree with that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wow, you're going Milt Kniff, huh?
I am.
Milton.
It's again, I appreciate Roy Crane for all the things that Graham has mentioned, but the thing I really enjoy about Kniff's work is that there's a degree of iconography about it that is unmistakable, at least for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
And again, no knock on Roy Crane, but I didn't know who Roy Crane was until two things happened. It was one of those synchronistic sort of things where I was reading this John Buscema interview, and he mentioned Roy Crane, and I'm like, who is this Roy Crane? And then Graham had done a storytellers on Roy Crane like the same time. It was just like boom, lightning struck, and I thought, man, this is great. But I've known who Milt Kniff is since I was a kid. Like I knew this stuff, so I'm going with this. It's just,
well, between I never liked Kniff. I didn't like his faces. Something just I never really liked him. So if I had to choose between him and Roy Crane, I'd go with Crane. Although I'm still sticking with Alex Raymond. Andy.
No, you can't stick with Alex Raymond because it's my choice.
Well, I know, but I'm going with you. I'm going with Roy Crane.
Then.
No, I'm going with Roy Crane because that's your choice. But if it was my personal choice, I'd still go back and take Raymond. That's all I'm saying. But I'm taking Roy Crane. I'm with you on this.
All right,
Andy.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Roy Crane because of basically everything we talked about him in the previous round with his storytelling, his attention to detail, and when to leave that detail out. I'll definitely take Roy Crane, but because Aaron was allowed to add an addendum, I will too, which is I'll still take Alex Raymond over all these two. But for this round, Roy Crane.
Okay, Art.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, nice.
An excellent choice. Excellent choice.
There's one thing about this Milt Kniff, the Steve Canyon. The logo's right over that beautifully drawn airplane, and it's bugging the crap out of me.
And the sad part is he knew where the logo was going.
I know. Yeah. Just make the logo a little smaller, Milt Kniff. Jeez Louise.
What's going on?
I have to go Milton Kniff. One, Steve Canyon's a cool dude, and there is some stuff that's inspired here. Like that second panel is pretty cool, the down shot, and that cockpit shot. What is it? Panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I love the texture on the helmet, the goggles, and that's cartooning. That's some choice tastiness.
Mm-hmm.
That's some cool shit, man. I'd have to go Milton.
Okay, Billy.
I'm really bothered that he's got, this squadron here, the Blue Element, and they got P-51s and P-40 Warhawks.
Oh, the sons of bitches.
Like, what is up with that? So on this, I'm going with Graham Nolan.
Okay.
Billy, don't you think this has a Rocketeer vibe to it, though?
Oh, he's trying to lure him in.
Yeah, it's okay, but now you're not swaying me. You're not swaying me at all. You're not swaying me at all.
Not at all.
All right, we've got one left to do, and again, Frag has already played his hand, but we're going to go through with this anyway. And,
Michael, go.
Are you going to go with Oh, sorry, wrong button. Are you going to go with Golden, or are you going to go with
Boobies?
Kiss.
Mike Mignola?
Ooh, shit.
Oh.
I'm going to answer that one super chat from earlier. It was Golden Otomo or Shiro.
Yep.
I am going to pick Otomo in that situation because of the versatility, but he wasn't brought into the conversation. In this case, Golden. I mean, I love Mignola. I've enjoyed his work since the early '80s, Rocket Raccoon, whole Alpha Flight era. But Golden.
Goldini.
Both these guys, Golden and Mignola, were both sort of acquired tastes for me. They weren't guys that I initially gravitated to, and going back and studying their work and stuff. And I find Mignola really fascinating, but I kind of dig the dynamics of Golden. I think puts him over the top. But they're both certainly original stylists for sure. But I'm going to go with. I mean, obviously Mignola he's more of a illustrator's approach to his comic book work. At least once he changed his style and went this direction. And I'm going to go. But since we're talking about comics, I'm going to go with Golden simply because of the dynamics and energy that's in his work. Where Mignola, you don't find it's a different thing. So I'm going to go with Golden.
Yeah, Mignola is very, very, very much about composition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andy?
Oh, one, you picked my favorite era of Mignola. I love this time period. And Dan and I were talking before, and my favorite time period of Mignola is right around Cosmic Odyssey and that Wolverine special he did for Marvel.
So
but
adventure,
I'm still going to take Golden just because, I mean, I really like Mike's stuff. I like the graphic nature of it. But when it comes to pure comic books and getting animation on a still image, on a page, it's Golden.
Art.
It would be Golden, but who do you think's more influential in the industry? Do you think
Golden?
Golden or Mignola?
Golden.
Golden, but there is a fair share of Mignola imitators as well. So
Mignola got a Disney movie made based on his style.
Yeah, that while that's all true, the children of Mignola's style, like literally he's the father of a style. Like no Golden, no Art Adams, no Liefeld, no McFarlane, no Jim Lee, like no J. Scott Campbell, no Humberto Ramos, no me. Like there's literally, you take Golden out of the equation, a big wall falls. You take Mignola out of the equation, there's a couple guys out there that do it. And I
don't think you lose a ton of guys.
Yeah.
I think when Silvestri started bringing some Mignola into his style with the black placements and things like that, I saw influence of Mike, but not like where they were copying his style per se.
Yeah,
but it did inspire people to try more dramatic light sources, like open and solid black and things like that. So I mean, you might be right, but for me, I think Mike had more of that impact on me, just as far as creatively than
Golden. So you're going Mignola or Golden?
No, I'm going Golden overall as an artist, but just influential. That's why I asked the question, like, who do you think is more influential? Obviously, you guys were thinking Golden.
Billy?
I would go with Golden for sure. Okay. And Golden does not like to be called Mike.
It's Michael.
Don't call him Mike. He gets pissed.
Yes,
Mikey. He does. We'll call Howard Chaykin Howie.
Howie Chaykin.
I've done that.
But I think, I know that like Joe Quesada is hugely influenced by Mike Mignola, and I love Mike's work. I really do. I'm in awe of it. But again, going back to a Bros maybe a year ago or so, You guys have Mike Mignola. I mean, Michael Golden on the. We have him on the
Mount Rushmore
of comics.
Mount Rushmore,
And
yeah.
I think he's proud, and I think I don't think anyone's going to chisel that handsome face off that mountain anytime soon.
No. Graham,
Golden,
all the way, baby. All right, gentlemen, this has been fun and entertaining. I was trying to bring us in at 2 hours, but gosh darn it, just too much good conversation to end it too quickly.
Yes, that's right.
I want to thank the chat for joining us this evening. You guys were great, as you always are, in participating and making these shows what they are. So we are grateful for your attendance. We're grateful for the super chats. Please hit the like and subscribe, and please be aware, if you're just tuning in, this is your first Brofessionals. This is a rotating show. We each take a turn hosting on our own channel week by week. We go in alphabetical order. So I believe Andy Smith is next week.
I am.
And I'd like to also point out that we all have campaigns. I have something called Wraith of God Blood Hunters. Andy, of course, Core Draft The Reckoning, a great barbarian tale. Art to Bear, Black and White, Man versus Machine. Billy Tucci has All Things She. I guess you're being shadow banned, so I didn't have your link to your most recent one, but I do have your Second Chance campaign. If you go and visit Billy on any social media, you'll find the link directly to his campaign. Graham, of course, Ghosts of Matacumba Key. You got Joe Frankenstein stuff going on. You got Monster Island coming up, don't you? You're just
Plushies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I saw a picture of a whole bunch of those guys.
Yeah.
And you got to go to Graham's website to sign up for that plushie. Is that correct, Graham?
Yes, it's compasscomics.com. You just get on the email list so that you'll be when I send out the email blast, you'll be updated as to when they're live on the store.
And of course, Fragaboom has Black Flag Pineapple Perception. You will find the links to all of these campaigns in the description of this video. So take a moment and check those out if you can. We greatly appreciate it. And until next week, fans and friends, we'll see you on the Brofessionals.
Neighbors.
Guys, next week, next week is my show, I believe, but I am.
No, it's mine.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right, Andy, I'm going to miss your show, and I apologize.
Oh my God.
Next week is mine. Wait, it's not? Andy, I'm going to miss it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Andy.
Well, then I guess I'll just make it really comic-centric so you won't miss out.
There you go.
Make it about hockey.
I'm going to do a hockey-related show and a war show.
Nice. Very nice.
We're getting out of here. Thank you so much, you guys. We'll see you next time right here on the Brofessionals.